Grand Rising, my loves. How are you all today? I hope you're well. Welcome back to Empress Goddess Presents, and I'm your girl, Empress Goddess, Georgia Peach. We're going to dive into a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Y'all know how I do it over here. But first of all, we're going to start off with a little intro music this morning.
All right, y'all. Settle down. If you don't know where you are, this is Statistics 101, and I'm your teacher, Life Jennings, in the flesh, baby. Bookshop. Let's go. 25% of all men are unstable. 25% of all men can be faithful. 30% of them don't mean what they say. And 10% of them remain the 20 instead. That leaves you a 10% chance of ever finding your mate. That means you better pay attention to these words that I say. I'm gonna teach you how to expose the 90% and show you what to do to keep the other 10. Rule number 1. Don't be a booty call. If he don't respect you, girl, he gon' forget you, girl. If he's in a relationship, he'll cheat on her. Let me see what you don't do. 3, tell him not to celibate. Baby, be with some of your buddies, he gon' have to work for me. 4, be the person you wanna find. Don't be a nickel out here looking for a dime. Statistics, 15% of all men got a complex. 15% of all men don't practice safe sex. 20% of them are from homes without a father. So there's a 50-50 chance that you marry a coward. Something to think about when you're taking a shower. Something to swallow when you drink your bottle of water. I'm gonna teach you how to expose the 90% and show you what to do to keep the other 10. Rule number 1. Don't be a booty call. If he don't respect you, girl, he gon' forget you, girl. 2, if he's in a relationship, he will cheat on her. That means he will cheat on you. 3, tell him not to celebrate. He'll be with some of your colleagues, he gon' have to work for me. 4, be the person you wanna find. Don't be a nickel out here looking for a dime. Statistics, be the patient when he's waiting. Leave road and stress alone. Oh, yeah. You know, my mama said there's only 2 things in life that are constant. That's change and change. It feels like something's missing, but I just don't know. It's like I'm not the same man that I was no more. And all these crazy places that I usually go, I'm just not as excited as I were before. I think about you constantly. It surprises me how I've changed. My friends all coming down on me, saying the player never changes the game. Those fellas in Neverland, right next to Peter Pan, nobody wants to grow. Those fellas in Neverland, they'll never understand what it's like to be in love. Neverland, right next to Peter Pan, nobody wants to grow. Those fellas in Neverland, they'll never understand what it's like to be in love. It feels like something's moving inside of me. My heart is doing backflips in spite of me. And there's no place that I would rather be than with you and my kids, my family. I think about you constantly. You wanna be my wife eventually. It don't matter what my friends say to me. There's no change in my mind, so y'all just pray for me. Neverland, right next to Peter Pan. I can't stay away from you too long. Even if I do, I'll always call. Checking on you, make sure you're okay. Be the one to brighten up your day. Yeah, yeah. And the point of it all, I love you. Yeah. No, I love you, baby. Oh, my days seem long whenever we're apart. It's like someone has stolen away my heart. You're a major part of my life. And no matter what the storm may bring, I'm fine with you. And the point of it all, I love you. And the reason for it all, I love you. I love you. Oh, I love you. I love, oh, I love, oh, I love, oh, I love you, girl. Yeah. I can't stay away too long. I can't stay away from you, baby. I can't stay away. Don't wanna be without you. I need you. I can't stay away too long. Why don't you stay around for a while? I can't stay away too long. And the point of it all, and the point of it all. I had a habit of messing up, staying up late and getting drunk. I let you down 1,000 times, broken promises. It's like I ran away from you. My career was my excuse. Until I saw you about to drown in your own tears. And as you cried in my arms, you woke up my heart. And I saw again what I found in you. 'Cause her heart won't let me lose her. No matter how I try, I just can't say goodbye and lose her. When all the folks were said and done, you were there to welcome me home. I was convicted 'cause your love never wavered. I know you love me more than me. and you vowed to love through anything. I never had the kind of love that was forever. And as you cried in my arms, you woke up my arms, and I saw again what I found in you. 'Cause her love won't let me lose it. Her love won't let me lose. No matter how I try, I just can't say goodbye and lose her. Oh, 'cause her heart won't let me lose her. Said her heart won't let me lose, no matter how far I.
Writing, building. Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to your soul guidance for your current spiritual journey tarot reading. We are going to pull some messages to see what Spirit wants to tell you, wants to offer you for all things spiritual at this time that you are experiencing, that you are going through, if you are just a super spiritual person. So let's see, Capricorn, what the Spirit has to say for you guys on your soul journey at this time. Okay, so we have the Ten of Cups, the Moon, and the Fool. Nice. I'm like, we're completing something here. A cycle is ending, and there's something new coming in, and boom, there was the Fool right there. Okay, Capricorn, so you have just come into some new and unfamiliar energy and territory, or you're about to. Okay? And with the moon there, the eclipses that we're having right now, they're activating you. We just had the Scorpio new moon solar eclipse on October 25th, and we have the Taurus full moon partial lunar eclipse on November 8th. Okay? So those eclipses are activating you, activating something in your life. And remember, we're looking at the spiritual energies right now. So you've been doing a lot of spiritual lessons, and this could be intentional, like you've been taking classes, some of you to like learn cards, to learn Reiki, mediumship, anything spiritually based. Some of you have been taking some classes for that, okay? And you're now coming to the end of a cycle of your learning period, which you are about to have a major activation, and you're going to be like, whoa, where did this come from? I'm so open, I'm so clear, like, whoa, all right? And for others of you, this has not been, I'm taking this class, I'm reading this book, I'm watching these documentaries. Like, it's nothing like that. It's like life has been throwing all these different emotional lessons at you, okay? The reason for that, Capricorn, is because you're meant to have an awakening at this time in your life, okay? And it's time for your spirituality to become more of a focal point in your daily, okay? And if you're already very spiritual, there's something about you, like you're going to the next level. You're going into unfamiliar territory, okay? Like you're gonna expand yourself into a new skill, a new talent, a new understanding around something spiritually based, okay? So let's see what the angels are doing and adding. And also, the Fool being a medium, or not a medium, a tarot reader. I feel like you've been getting the same messages over and over. Like everything that's about to come through in this reading, if you've done cards for yourself, it's going to be the same message you've got for yourself. And also, if you watch other readers, it's like it's going to be a confirmation of what some of these other readers have said. Okay. Special healing for the open-hearted. And higher purpose. Wow, you know what? Sagittarius got this card as well in the same exact spot. So your Sagittarius moon, rising or north node, check that out as well. Okay, so those of you that have really been like just going through it, a lot of different emotional lessons with that 10 of Cups, you're coming into a place of healing. Your spiritual team, like I feel like you guys have this council of guidance, all right? And they're saying if you can accept like everything that's been going on has been a spiritual lesson being brought to you and experienced by you emotionally, it's like open your heart. We're going to help you heal. Like you needed to go through this. You needed to go through these lessons. You needed to understand for this next bit of your spiritual journey. And again, it's like brand new, completely unfamiliar territory is where you're headed. And it just builds and expands upon your spiritual foundation that you already have. Okay, and those of you who have been taking all these classes, you don't need any more classes. It's time to stop taking the classes. All right, like I said, you're just going to have this activation and you're going to realize how good you are. Or you're going to have interactions with other people and they're going to tell you, wow, you're really getting me, you're really reading me. Or yeah, it's like you don't need those classes anymore. It's time to be in practice full force. Solitude journey. Oh, and with higher purpose, every Capricorn that is watching this, you are meant to live a spiritually based life or share your spiritual gift, or you're here to help shift the collective of humanity. There's no question with that higher purpose and just what's already coming out. Consciousness, self-discovery, crystals. Yeah, you're coming into some healing. Spiritual, what did we say? Spiritual lessons received emotionally, because that's how you were growing. Some of you were taking classes, okay, to go through these different spiritual lessons and changes. Some of you were in the Earth School without realizing that you signed up for these classes, thus the different emotional lessons you've been going through. And some of you, you've had a combination of both. Like you're trying to find more out about yourself spiritually. You're going through these weird emotional experiences as well. All spiritual lessons that have been changing you and preparing you. The healer. Okay, with crystals, the healer, special healing for the open-hearted. Some of you are definitely a healer, whether you are going to do energy healing, Reiki, we have discernment, or you are like a nurse, a doctor, a veterinarian, a CNA, a nurse assistant, somebody who watches children, somebody who works with special needs children, adults, okay? Any form of love that you give to another person to help them heal physically, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally, and it's just a part of who you are a healer, okay? That is being confirmed in this reading. And right now, it's time to spend some time alone, Capricorn, okay? Because remember, you're coming into this activation, but it's time to spend some time alone because you're having a shift in consciousness, which is going to allow a lot of discovery of self that you currently weren't aware of. And some of you, this could be your healing abilities. Some of you, this could be your spiritual, psychic, intuitive abilities. Some of you, this could manifest itself as art, music, writing, building. You're discovering an aspect of yourself that has previously been hidden from you, and everything that you've been going through in the Earth School, as well as those of you who have been taking classes, as well as like reading a lot of books, doing a lot of research. It's all been for purpose, okay? You've been feeling the call of your soul. And also through this experience, discernment, you're going to have a better radar for dishonesty after this activation, Capricorn, where you're going to just know if a person, a situation is being dishonest or hiding something from you. Okay, you're going to be more aware of that than you were in the past. And also, some of you, it's time to get a crystal if you don't already have a crystal, one that you really connect with. And the message that some of you need to cleanse your crystals, because as you complete this journey and you're having this activation, this shift in consciousness, it's time to get all the old energy of old self off your crystals, off your cards, off your spiritual tools. Let's look at some astrology. Okay, so it all went to the crystals and the spiritual lessons. So we have some Aries energy, some Pisces energy. Yeah, that's 12th house, first house right there. We've got the sun. We have the North Node, South Node energy, life purpose, with second house and 8th house energy. Okay, so right here, second house, 8th house, you're very focused on your assets, your resources, your money, your income, your physical existence, but also with that 8th house, you have been going through a lot of emotional shifting and changing circumstance. It could be like you feel you have abundance and you're in plenty, but then it feels like you go back into like an energy of lack, not having enough. So I do see some fluctuation there in your energy, but it's just all been part of this journey. You're coming into something much, much more solid, okay? With that North Node coming out, you've also balanced some karma. The sun, it's time for healing. It's time for awakening. It's time for truth. It's time for you to see the truth of yourself, the truth of others, the truth of the gifts that you possess within, the truth of expansion into the unfamiliar, the unknown, which is what we see here with this Aries. It's like the Pisces energy is 12th house, okay? You've been going through all these lessons. You've learned everything. You're being activated by these eclipses. And now it's time to venture into unknown territory because you're ready for that. And there's going to be a lot more self-discovery that takes place for Capricorn. So let's pull some tarot. Well, I just saw the Four of Wands and the Ten of Wands, so that is a confirmation that the burden of the Ten of Wands is going to transform into the stability and solidity of the Four of Wands. Okay, so there is change there for you, Capricorn. Things are going to stabilize, things are going to balance out. All right, what do we have? Ace of Cups, the Death card, Nine of Cups, Ten of Swords, the Lovers. Yeah, okay. I see you've definitely been going through some emotional lessons, and some of you, as you've embraced your spiritual side or your spiritual gift, there's people in your life that haven't been able to accept that. Ooh, some of you may have even lost your job over that. As I pulled some of you may have lost your job over that. Yep, like because you just were like, not me. Not gonna do that. But you know what? All of you have gone through some sort of loss here with the Death card and the Ten of Swords through these different lessons, okay? You've all gone through some loss.
Better believe it.
And it's been hard and it's been heavy. And that might be why some of you are in this solitude journey, okay? Some of you, it's because you've been shunned by friends, family, for different choices that you make for your own self or for your spiritual journey, spiritual beliefs.
Exactly.
Okay, some of you could just have been dealing with some crappy people that kind of just left you high and dry, abandon you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's like Ace of Cups, but then Death. Nine of Cups, but then Ten of Swords.
Yep.
The Lovers, but the Emperor with the Four of Pentacles. Okay, it's like, okay, this is good, but then crash, boom.
Yep.
All right, well, then maybe no crash, boom.
Yep.
Okay, well, no crash, boom. So it's like you've gone through that a few times here.
Yep.
And it's been really, really hard on you emotionally. And look at, you got the Ten of Cups there. Nine of Cups with the Ace would be a 10. It is the end to these lessons that put you in this Ten of Swords energy, okay? But through each one of these lessons, it's really grown you spiritually, okay? You've been being grown spiritually through the emotional body. And I do see that you're coming into a period where it's really time to know yourself, because you're about to expand into something completely new, unfamiliar, brand new to you. And without all of these lessons that have made you so strong and wise, you might be like, nope, too risky. Just like talk yourself out of it. Choose not to pursue that path. Choose to follow, what everybody else is saying and doing, opposed to what you're feeling in your own heart and soul. All right. So everything that you've been through is not for nothing. It's been growing you and transforming you spiritually. And you're going to become aware of that, kind of just like boom. And you're like, wow. And you're discovering a higher purpose of yourself, of this life. All right. So, let's pull some more cards.
Oh boy.
Let's see what that purpose is for some of you. Definitely a healer. That came through very, very strong. Could be some mediumship ability with the Death card there.
Hey, Ghetto Child Clinic. Oh, what?
Yeah, I just, the 8th house is the ruler of Scorpio. This is the card that represents Scorpio. You've gone through a lot of loss.
Right now. You can come out.
You have, and there's a big, big acknowledgement of that. And no, it has not been easy. You just want things to stabilize.
Oh, shit.
You're like, oh, more new energy, more unfamiliar? No thanks.
Oh, boy. Damn.
Right. Cleanser, you release and purify emotional debris. Yeah, there's that healing energy again. Meditation master, an innate ability to guide meditative sessions and in a myriad of ways: sound, movement, silence, stillness, guided mindfulness, transcendence, yoga, etc. Okay, so yeah, there's more healing energy around you right there with being the meditation master. And we have master of transmutation. You have mastered the process of transmutation. Saint Germain and the violet flame work through you. See, you had to go through it. All these lessons, you had to go through it to understand it so that you could be the one to heal and to help others who are going through it, whether in a professional
I told you that was my purpose.
or just, online in chat rooms, starting a blog, starting a channel, doing healing work, hands-on. Like, it's different for all of you, but Capricorn, you guys are all healers here. And being a cleanser, you do tend to pick up emotional debris.
Yep.
You are an empath.
Yep. I can't make it up, people. I've been telling y'all that.
You might be a super emotional person, but that doesn't mean that you don't feel the energy of others around you. You feel it very, very strongly. You pick up and collect their heaviness, their heartache. All right, let's see what Archangel Michael has to say.
Ghetto child, you know what this is here?
Look at that. Be the light to others. Yes, everything that you've been through
Throw CBD
is only made you and prepared you for the light that you're going to be for others who go through the same exact things. You have a powerful message to share. Shine your light on the world so that others can learn from you.
Oh boy.
Make a decision. Are you choosing to prioritize yourself or another in this situation? Accept divine guidance pointing you towards your own joy. You deserve it. Stop being so hard on yourself, Capricorn. You've been doing the best you can. A lot has been thrown at you. Okay, and some of you are really trying to just fine tune your spiritual gift or unlock your spiritual gift, and it's like, despite your efforts, you feel like you're making very little progress. But again, it's just going to be like, boom, there it is. You are making progress. Deeper insights are at hand. Yeah, your overall plan is good, but the details need work. Reflect before moving forward. Okay, there's a lot that's shifting and changing, and this is more about being stuck in the negative.
This right here stronger than the other one I had.
Wrong. So maybe you could even be dealing with dark night of the soul energy. Don't settle for less. You are a child of the divine, and you deserve to have your dreams come true. Don't give up. All you've been through is to help others moving forward for your spiritual work, your spiritual service, this life journey. Okay, and you are wise, you are strong, you are absolutely a healer. Some of you are meant to really teach, like yoga, different meditations, do lectures on different traumas, different things you've gone through. You're really going to help people, all right? And your very sensitive, empathic ability is truly a gift, even if it doesn't feel that way. It's a gift. All right?
Get on them vitamins.
Even if you have a very 3D based job, that's all right. That doesn't mean you're not a healer as well. In some capacity you are, and that's going to become.
That's why I don't take all that medicine them damn doctors be trying to give me.
In your life, some of you, it's time to finally take the plunge. You know, it's time to take the plunge. But don't be afraid of the unknown, of the unfamiliar that enters your life. You're going to get these messages reiterated and repeated to really bring it home for you. All right, so those are your messages I'm sending you. You've done the work.
Hi, my love. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. I hope that you are having a beautiful and an amazing day. So, this is a timeless collective reading. All right, whenever you hear the message is when you're meant to receive it. Please keep in mind um, that this may not resonate with you. Please only take the messages that do. So, you guys, I'm going to hop right into it. Any information that you need will be in the description box. Um, the energy today, it is November 2nd. You guys know, of course, we just had Halloween. You know, Scorpio energy is still very, very potent. Endings, new beginnings, transformation, rebirth, renewal. I'm hearing you need to rest, retreat, rejuvenate, revitalize yourself. Today felt like a drag, but it seems like something is happening like in real time. I feel like there's just a huge breakthrough here where here's Three of Swords, Nine of Swords. So there is some type of sadness here that is healing, something that maybe you've been pressed about or fearful of. I feel like that is being taken care of. I have to say too, I am getting here that you can rest. It feels like for some of you it's a lot of pain from the past and it's being cleared out. Something about this energetic shift that's happening. All right, so you guys could be healing things within your family, childhood issues, revisiting different things. I feel like a lot of people lately, maybe you have kind of been homesick, nostalgic, like going down memory lane. And of course, by doing that, some of the memories are not all good, but hopefully you're practicing forgiveness. You are trying to have grace and mercy for yourself and other people. And I feel like as a result, it's like here you have the Ace of Cups. You're preparing yourself for a brand new beginning here. There is a very, very beautiful brand new beginning that is here. A few days ago, a reading I was talking about something. Yeah, there's a Magician card and the Seven of Cups. A lot of different things manifesting within like the next 10 weeks. So just with the rest of this year, it's time now for you to make a choice. I feel like for some of you, when it comes to love, there is a person that's going to be making a choice about you. All right, this could be them choosing to come towards you or them choosing to finally just stay out of your energy and to actually let you move on in peace. But it's like you're really needed to make sure that you get clarity about what you want to do. Transformation here with the Nine of Cups. So yeah, there are significant life experiences right now that are happening. Like you're needing to make changes. You could be seeing different animals. I know for me, I've saw actually I have no idea how this happened, but like a black, I think they call them it's sort of like a black moth that came in, and I mean that represents a lot about rebirth. Spirit. It represents death, and I mean that's for me that's transformation. But even rabbits, this time of year you may see rabbits in your neighborhood and stuff like that, but that represents the home. It represents rebirth. And for you to have rebirth, to be able to manifest something, of course, as a magician, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, consider yourself feminine or masculine. You do actually have to be very, very decisive, very mindful and intentional about what that is. And so there's a time right now for you to cut, clear, cleanse everything that may be standing in your way. You have to break out of procrastination. You have to just see everything at face value right now. And sometimes we even have to take a look at ourselves, okay? And have you sat down and really envisioned yourself to see what does wish fulfillment look like for you, okay? Because something here is changing, transformation here. It's like divine intervention is taking place. Wow. And as I said, the awakening card came out. So there are sacrifices that have to be made. And you're sacrificing the ego, or this is someone doing this when it comes to you here. There is an illusion of being trapped, and it's now time to take responsibility for the situation. Be accountable. Like I said, it may be time for a lot of really tough situations or conversations to be had where you may need to see a situation from a totally different point of view. Okay. Or again, this could be how someone is feeling about you.
My two children, my dogs. Yeah, I had to make
you have to really, to get in alignment, you first have to recognize that there is misalignment. The ego is just the devil.
Keep my sheets.
So this is, definitely in the hangman energy. This is being delayed because of your own thoughts. or this is how someone is with you. Like someone has just been confused. There could have been some manipulation or even magic here as well, especially when it comes to matters of the heart and love. The Ace of Cups keeps popping out. So something here about new love or a recommitment to a love. All right. There's been a lot of illusions around this here. We have the King of Wands. So this says that someone is coming out of some type of mental entrapment here. They're inspired now to really take action. Yeah, towards the Two of Cups. Yeah, Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords and yeah, the Ace of Swords. Wow. And behind that is the Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, Wise Counsel, and the Empress. Ooh. So somebody is going back to their divine feminine, or you're finally about to connect with your true masculine. All right. This could be someone that you don't know, but energetically, you are the feminine is making space for the masculine is making space for the feminine. And this may come as a result of you, like I said, balancing your own energies out at this time. But this is definitely some type of past energy or past life type of energy, with the Six of Cups being here. The Eight of Swords is here, with the Seven of Cups being out here, awakening, and the Devil. There is a lot of heavy magic, manipulation, and illusions that's been here. It's not always that, there's a group of witches that's doing magic. Sometimes there's just an illusion of your life because of your own thoughts, patterns, and behaviors, or the person that you're dealing with. But it looks like someone is finally choosing to let go of whatever is blocking them to actually take responsibility for their life, to move towards the person that they really want to be with. Okay. Yeah, it's time to take action, because the Magician out here with the Empress, this is really creating something very beautiful. Definitely feels like past life, soulmate here. For some, it could be a twin flame. This could be someone that you knew in the past, or someone that you're destined to have children with. Okay, this person may really make you feel like a child at heart. It's almost like if you knew this person in another lifetime, you guys were like the best of friends. The Wise Counsel card is here. So this is also, being very vulnerable and open and transparent about everything that you've gone through that has allowed you to finally come into this time now to go through a real awakening, where you can recognize that maybe you've made mistakes, or maybe you didn't see something in the way that you should have. That is really clearing, and the energy, and allowing you now to have the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords is victory and success. Is drawing a line in the sand. It's overcoming a lot of different obstacles. Okay, this is making head over heart decisions in a way, but understanding sometimes in that situation, it's like you have to walk by faith and not only by sight. And as a result, it's like you're going towards wise counsel, your higher self. You're going towards higher levels of commitment, good fortune, new home, new house, new car, new job, very stable and secure relationships. All of that is coming in for you. This is coming though after you decide that you're no longer going to be pessimistic. You cannot harbor anymore over what was lost, because what is actually for you will always be for you. It'll never, you won't miss that. I'm seeing someone be very intentional though. This is a very masculine energy. And again, it doesn't matter if male or female, but it feels almost like someone just woke up and was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to take on the world. Or someone is waking up saying, I know that I need to take some time out right now to heal and prepare. But this is a very serious spiritual awakening that's taking place here. Once again, you have the Hierophant and the Hangman. So this right here could be someone who is very used to other people listening to them. They give guidance. This person may be coming into the realization now that maybe they need to take their own advice. Or maybe someone here has been getting advice from someone, and they're realizing that's not really the advice that I should be taking, because it's not helping me to be aligned for my actual destiny. Okay. Some people may be choosing to really improve their relationship with God. If you go to church on a regular basis, that's good, that's great. But some of you really may be coming into this awareness that you've had elders or people that you honor and you respect around you that have given you a lot of information, but it was based on their own outdated self-limiting beliefs. And as a result of that, it has been difficult for you to actually manifest the life that you wanted. And now you're going through this awakening, and you're realizing that you need to take time out to reflect and really figure out, what you need to manifest. How can you be passionate? Because right now, with this energy, you have the Midas touch. Anything that you touch, it'll turn to gold. You have all of the tools and the resources that you need to manifest something. Yeah, whatever it is that hurts you, whatever deception or pain, jealousy, envy, competition, you're needing to work through this. You're going to have to learn how to turn your pain into some type of purpose. And if it's destined for you, you can turn your purpose into some type of profit. Some of you, you are a prophet. Okay. It's time for you to step into this role of being a leader. But again, all of this confusion, it's not always, we talk a lot about magic and shape shifting and this and that. Sometimes the devil is in your mind. That's the blockage. Sometimes just your own negative thoughts or your fears is manifesting into the monkey on your back that's keeping you from being able to really get up that hill. It's a never ending story. You're needing to go within to recognize what that blockage really is in order to have victory and success. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's toxicity here. Scorpio season is a time though for you to go within. Scorpio is considered like the
Extra, extra, read all about it. I'm talking tough big story all over the world. It shook up men, women, boys, and girls. The headline said, if you want to be rich, then you better make sure that you got church. Oh, come on.
okay. It's time for you to step into this role of being a leader. But again, there's all of this confusion. It's not always, we talk a lot about magic and shape shifting and this and that. Sometimes the devil is in your mind. That's the blockage. Sometimes just your own negative thoughts or your fears is manifesting into the monkey on your back that's keeping you from being able to really get up that hill. It's a never ending story. You're needing to go within to recognize what that blockage really is in order to have victory and success. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's toxicity here. Scorpio season is a time though for you to go within. Scorpio is considered like the FBI of the zodiac. You're gonna have to dig deep. When I see this King of Cups, I'm actually saying the High Priestess. Though some of you are going to be dealing with men who are very very intuitive. These men have seen very very dark sides of life, and it has made them, for some of them, emotionally available. But maybe they are coming into a time now where they actually want to be more emotionally available, but they may be afraid of vulnerability. Some people have really seen some dark times, but it's time now to awaken to the fact that it's okay for you to express the fact that maybe you have fears about things. Okay, it's a lot of people who are needed to overcome their fear of intimacy. Yeah, the truth will set you free. This is time to purify yourself, to be reignited. Okay, work on those new ideas. Look, by you going back to that state of joy and happiness and being in a state of peace, starting over, healing the inner child issues, you're receiving a beautiful, beautiful reward. What is this reward? Tell me more. This is good. Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles together. Yeah, you're moving towards a lot of reciprocity. Six of Pentacles is also receiving gifts of rewards, recognition. This is getting all of your good deeds back. Six of Swords. This is your spiritual team. They're moving you on to peaceful, calmer waters. For some of you, they're going to be telling you that you need to relocate. Or if you have a person who's at a distance that has been dragging their feet to come towards you, they're going to be nudging this person that it's time for them to come towards you. It's time for them to communicate with you. And this has to be very clear, concise, and effective communication. Someone here is going to have to make a serious move. It's going to have to make a sacrifice to really get into alignment, because someone is recognizing that there is something or someone in their life that truly brings them peace, creates value for them, and they know that it's in alignment with their destiny. Someone here is recognizing that everything that they do is causing a misalignment. It's because you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong job, the wrong relationship. You're still talking to the wrong family members and friends. You're going to have to wisen up and move forward towards the sun, towards your higher self, changing your perspective. It's time to have, more self-awareness. But someone here is thinking heavily right now about a relationship. reconciling with someone. Yeah, someone is losing sleep over this, wanting to make this offer. The Page of Pentacles is it's an offer, it's a promotion, it's a proposal of some sort, it's a solid new beginning. But someone knows that in order to offer this, they first have to be willing to tell the truth, the whole truth. I feel like someone has been doing this in the background. They're trying to be controlled in this situation and go about this with a bit of moderation. But the truth is that someone could possibly be even planning like a proposal or planning to move towards you or want, like, there's something really big here, and it has a lot to do with overall stability. There's a hidden path that has been revealed to someone. Again, something here that was normally taboo or someone was in the dark about, or they were keeping you in the dark about. When it comes to their life, I feel like someone is deciding now that they are wanting to be more open. They're understanding that in order to have this brand new passion beginning with you, that they're going to have to connect with you on more than just a physical or surface level. You can't deny this type of connection. I mean, Scorpio season is so much passion, it's so much mystery. It's like someone wants to let you in, or you want to let someone in. Yeah, because it's like here, someone is realizing that they're not receiving any returns on their investment because their heart is not open. This person is still being defensive. They're still blocking a brand new beginning. Look, I can't make it up. This King of Cups. This person here is in so much conflict. There's chaos. This person can find themselves even at times being jealous or envious because for some of you, especially the feminines, you're trying to take a leap of faith and move in a different direction. And this person does not want this to happen. But I don't think that you're willing to talk to this person if they're not willing to communicate the whole truth to you. You're telling this person, you're going to have to tell me the truth about what you're juggling. You're going to have to tell me the truth about your past. This is like an ultimatum here. It's like you either tell me the truth or I'll walk away. And I'm telling you right now, timing is truly of the essence, because with this eclipse energy here, if a person does not get in now, they will not go on to the next cycle with you. So a person that's struggling right now to leave a karmic partner, if they stay with that person, you'll never let them back in. They won't even be able to come back into your life. So whoever is out here feeling like they are confused or they're still trying to entertain options and they have a divine feminine or masculine that they want to be with, and yet they watch you, stalk you, and pretend that everything is okay, they're going to really miss out on an opportunity. The opportunity of a lifetime to actually be in alignment, to have victory and success. This is karmic justice. You are someone's karmic justice, or they are your karmic justice. To balance this out and you guys come from out of the cold and out of this mental entrapment will lead to a soft life. You being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But somebody is recognizing too that if they don't make a decision to come from out of the cold and out of all of these mind games and manipulation, that justice is that they're going to watch you be very, very successful and abundant. There's nothing they can do about it. Look at that, 4 of Wands. Someone here is obsessed with your security, your stability, who you're with, who you may marry. But it's crazy because this person is constantly sitting around in regret and disappointment, and they won't make a move. Spirit's like, you better go towards that person, because I feel like for some of you who are learning more about forgiveness, now for those of you, you're dealing with a person and there's no change behavior, let it die. Don't worry about it. But there are situations that are resurfacing that you're going to have to look at and judge with a bit of compassion. Yeah, there's been deception here, there's been a betrayal, and this could be friends, family member, or whomever. But Spirit is saying everything is still okay. You have to stop allowing yourself to be seen as the wounded warrior. Sometimes in this wounded warrior energy, people, they don't actually become victorious and move on. They stay in the energy of not wanting to let anyone in. Being defensive and being resistant to change is not going to open any new doors for you. That means that you're not actually learning the lesson. Now, let me make this clear. I'm not saying that anybody has to go back to their past. And this may not even be related to a romantic relationship for everyone. What I'm saying is that for you to actually get out of your own mental entrapment, you have to sometimes realize that it is a mental, you're here. You're not actually stuck. any type of prison. So to obsess constantly over what someone has done to you when you're still alive, well, and healthy, and you can get in the car and move and go wherever you want to go is a waste of your time and your effort and energy. Another point that I would like to make too is because I know so many people are so quick to get in the comments. I'm not taking a person back from the past. Do understand that you can meet a brand new person that you have past life karma with. Some of you think that as soon as you meet someone, because you've gone through 10 years of a spiritual journey, that everything is going to be perfect. You can meet a person and there can still be some toxicity. That's a part of any relationship. So stop cutting out every single person, whether they're from the past or they're new, because they're not in your eyes perfect at that time. And you don't even take a moment to realize that you yourself are not quite what you think you are either. And I'm just being honest. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because it's something that I'm practicing myself. Self accountability and awareness. That's how you actually have abundance. You have to know where you stand with yourself first. When you learn how to trust yourself, it becomes easier for you to trust other people. Every single time I post a reading and it's something positive about love and about the past, people jump in the comments about how I'm not going back to the past. Well, don't. But there are things from past lives, if you understand that and believe in it, they can come back. And there could be karma attached to it. But if you've not learned how to deal with other situations in your life, whether it was a friend, family member, lover, or coworker, how exactly do you think that you're going to actually go into a union with someone when you don't know how to effectively communicate or resolve any type of conflict? Knight of Wands, be passionate in your pursuit of whatever you want to do, whether it's business, love, whatever. The star, something here is destined. It is destined, but it requires that you heal from the past, or that you heal a situation with a masculine from the past. Some of you, you have to balance your masculine energy. Maybe you need to speak to a lover from the past. Some people even need to heal the relationship with a father from the past, whether that person was absent or not. And if that person is deceased, my condolences, love and light to you. But if you are feeling broken, hurt, abandoned, rejected in any type of way, your gift lies in you being able to take a lesson out of some type of pain from the past. God is saying right now, you're going to have to strip down and be truthful and authentic. I literally just said to somebody earlier, it's just like the song. God is saying, I will provide the fire if you provide the sacrifice. What are you willing to strip down and sacrifice in order to have wish fulfillment in your life? You have to make the decision to get the monkey off your back. Nobody's going to do it for you. And it doesn't matter how spiritual you are. Wands is about action. Are you taking action? And it looks like someone here is about to really get a strong urge or impulse, some type of download to really, really go towards what they feel is wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups and the Lovers. Someone is making a choice if they haven't made it already. So it's best right now, Four of Swords, that you heal your heart. You cannot walk around and be depressed anymore. You can't be jealous or envious. You can't hold on to bitterness and resentment towards people in your family or anyone else, because for a lot of people, this is the blockage. This is why you're not experiencing the peace, the joy, the contentment, the home life or the family life that you truly want, because you're still dealing with a stronghold. Things that are dead, you're not going to get anything at all by you trying to dig it up. It's still going to be dead. So stop holding on. Don't let this stronghold hold you anymore. Walk by faith and not by sight. But don't allow yourself to still be at a stalemate. It's time for love, happiness, joy, new offers, new friendships to come into your life. So maybe you're going to have to become awakened about the fact that you or someone in your life, you guys are being stubborn. You're holding back, focusing on things that are not going to serve you when God is here trying to make you an offer. Try to be more optimistic about moving forward and manifesting, because what you want is actually coming in. Here it is, the King of Wands. This person is going to pursue this Empress, and this person is coming in very, very fast. I really do feel like someone here is possibly leaving someone behind, though, that they either thought they were going to establish a long life with, or that they have been in a long term committed relationship with, to be honest. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. And if you are the person that is possibly leaving someone or leaving a person behind just because you have a conventional relationship and there is some sense of stability here, especially in the financial sector, that doesn't mean that you're happy, that you're at peace. That doesn't mean that that person is the one that God has chosen for you. That's the person that you chose for you. And you can expect the tower to come in, because the things that we choose for ourselves is not always a part of what God's plan is for us. So yes, cycles will be ending. Relationships will end. Marriages will end. People will relocate. Layoffs will happen. Everything will crash and burn until you learn lessons and you're able to graduate and accomplish what you need to move on to a new beginning. And Spirit is showing me right now, this Empress here, for some people here, this Empress, this actually is not a divine feminine for everyone. For some people, you're dealing with someone and they could actually be married or have children with someone. This person is looking at this person now and they're not thrilled about their choice. And this person now, I feel, is rushing towards you because they would like to have the ultimate wish fulfillment with you, to lay roots, to have legacy. This is what's manifesting. It's beautiful, but there will be a tower to hit. Yes, people will divorce. Yes, relationships will end. Unfortunately, some families will be separated, but you still have an opportunity to have a blended family. All is not lost here. Things are being aligned, and a lot of people are going to have to learn how to see past the illusions and understand that there are some things that are just fated to happen. It's written. All you have to do right now is focus on going out, being open to receive it. I don't want to wait. I'm here. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I don't know who that lady is. That's like a song from like the 80s or something. Probably before my time, but I know I've heard it before. I'm here. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. What is? Hold on. What is? Who is this lady singing this song in my head right now? It came in so strongly. I don't want to wait. Come on, Google, help us out. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait for our. Yeah, somebody wants to come in. And I'm not playing any music at all. This is strictly a channel message. So this is I Don't Want to Wait by Paula Cole. And it says, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now, what will it be? I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Will it be yes or will it be sorry? Wow. He showed up all wet on the rainy front step wearing shrapnel in his skin, and the war he saw lives inside him still. It's so hard to be gentle and warm. The years pass by, and now he has granddaughters. So, like for some of you, there is a person coming back from the past. This person could have been married. They could have had a family with somebody else. All kinds of stuff. But yet, and it literally says, and the war he saw still lives inside. So some of you, this even could have been someone in the military, but as I said before, everyone has gone through things. Do you have any type of grace and mercy and forgiveness in your heart? Yes, people have made mistakes. This doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you were in a relationship with, but it could have been someone that you were interested in. They were interested in you. Yes, maybe they have lived a life apart from you, but that's where they've learned their lessons. That's where they've gained their knowledge, their wisdom, and their power. And now that they're coming towards you to make an offer, what are you going to do? But I feel that a lot of feminists are wondering, what is it going to be? Because there's obviously someone that's been holding on to your energy. Spirit is saying right now, just be open. Allow your heart to be open. If someone has mistreated you, try not to misjudge them now, because what if they have changed? Do not miss out on a gift or a blessing because you don't like the way that it's wrapped. My ears are ringing.
Steve, you still in here?
I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now, what will it be? So open up your morning light and say a little prayer for I. You know that if we are to stay alive, then see the love in every eye. Oh, that's beautiful. I don't know who Paula Cole is. When did this song come out? This has to be, oh my God. Oh, this came out in 1996. So somebody could have been born in like 1996 or around 1995, 1996. Some of you could have a child that was born in 1996. This could have been someone that you had a child with in the 90s for some of you. And you both lived your lives. You both could have been married or had just life to happen. You could be coming back around to this person. You know, if that's what God is calling you to do, then go ahead. 9 of Wands, but you can't allow yourself to be in this ongoing battle here. You can't be so guarded that you miss opportunities. I can't make it up. 9 of Wands and the 4 of Cups. This is saying here, it's good to be resilient, but if you're so wounded that you are feeling just beat down by life because of something that happened in the past that right now you can't change, you're going to find yourself missing out on good opportunities. You don't want to be left feeling
Y'all see
discontent
that
and bored.
that
When the
message
sun
I
is
just
being
pinned?
presented to you, look at this, the Page of Cups and the
Hit, you
sun.
can hit that link and
Something
it'll
so
take you
beautiful is being offered to you. Please don't miss out on this
to Astro
opportunity
Link where
because of what you've gone
you
through.
can
And if this is a
download
brand new
that
person,
app
please
for your birth
stop
chart and
allowing
stuff.
the situation with the past to hold on to you. You don't need to go into new situations being stingy with your energy, not being open, not being vulnerable, not being able to express love, trying to hold on to the past or be controlling. Don't do that. Somebody really needs to hear this message. 7 of Cups, yeah. It's like the dream that you fantasize about, that you script about, that you are manifesting. It's coming in. Could be a past person, could be a new person. This is your justice. Wow. Something is being balanced out for you. And the justice, it comes after you decided to take accountability.
Yeah, I had peeped in on you
for the
earlier,
fact that
but I didn't
maybe you were confused. For the
I didn't
fact
get a
that
chance to
maybe you
leave
were
a
missing
message
something that was in your
because I
blind
was.
spot. Maybe
You know
you
how it is.
are
As soon as you start doing
a little
something,
bit
somebody's
too
gonna come
guarded.
start fucking with you.
You know, I see sometimes. Okay, here's the King of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. Oh my goodness. Listen, y'all. Remember earlier I was telling you about the Empress, and then we saw the King and the Queen of Pentacles here, right? And I said, yeah, King and Queen of Pentacles with the 10 of Pentacles. What is this hiding in the back? The Tower. Okay. Look at this. Now we have the King of Pentacles. Oh, and also earlier I had the 6 of Swords and the 8 of Wands. And I was saying that someone is being urged to possibly move, travel, or communicate. Okay. You have the King of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands. You have the Empress, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Swords, the 8 of Swords, the 10 of Wands. That's everything. This is such a strong message. You have a King of Pentacles here. I can see this 2 different ways. You have a King of Pentacles here who could have a very solid foundation with someone. The wheel is turning and this man is willing to drop this situation because although it is this is where his roots have been, it's still a burden to him to constantly be in this mental entrapment thinking about someone else. This also could be a situation where you have a King of Pentacles here who is rushing to go towards an Empress, a divine feminine, because he wants to ensure that they are able to have a legacy, the 10 of Pentacles together. The wheel is turning, and as this wheel is turning right now, Scorpio energy, we have an eclipse coming up. All of the burdens are being dropped. Someone here is willing to take responsibility and put in the hard work. I feel like this is a gift and it's a reward for the divine for a lot of people who have been stuck in some type of illusion or mental entrapment for a long time, and you manage to still achieve your goals even if you had to do it alone. You didn't show any signs of weakness here, even when you were trapped or isolated, even when you felt restricted, even when people were projecting this negative energy. The Knight of Cups is here with the Six of Cups. The Magician, someone from the past is manifesting you, or you're manifesting this person. And again, this could be a past life, it could be a brand new person, but there is for sure there's a contract between you and this person. There is energy there. Your soul knows this person. So even if it's a brand new person, you will instantly recognize who this is. For some of you, and I talked about this a few days ago, if you're having dreams of a feminine or a masculine, you may not be seeing their face. God is purposely not showing you their face because he wants you to recognize their energy when they appear before you. Ooh. Mm-mm-mm. This person saying, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. This could be someone brand new. I think one of the readings I did a few days ago, they've all been in the last few days. Um, you could be picking up with the twin flame or a soulmate from another lifetime where you left off. You guys have been separated and going through karmic situations that had to be clear before you came back together. This is a situation where you and someone, you're gonna pick up right where you left off, but you're gonna do it the right way because it's time. It's time is right. You got through the illusion. You made it through the matrix. This maze that you've been in, you found the exit. Your person is waiting right outside the door. Whether you're male, female, feminine, or masculine, you had to get out of this maze. Understanding that maybe some of your perceptions or desires were distorted. And it's almost like this person, the both of you were in the same maze and you kept running around missing each other. I feel like you and this person are gonna get to the exit at the same time and you're gonna be able to walk out hand in hand together. Two of Pentacles, yeah. Lots of instability here, but this is still something that is destined. It's been a juggling act. Juggling life, juggling money, juggling family, children, unable to make decisions because certain decisions was going to cause a lot of conflict with people. But the Queen of Cups has become a high priestess. You may be emotional or, spiritual, artistic, intuitive, but the Queen of Cups and the high priestess, this is evolving. This is tapping into sacred wisdom, information, seeing beyond the veil completely. And this is now making it easy for you to passionately, yeah, this is a lot of passion, passionately go towards an emperor or allow an emperor to come towards you. King of Swords. Yeah, whoever this emperor is very stern. You and this person are probably opposites. The masculine energy today is just very, very potent. It's this energy of people are being very intentional, very decisive. Like it just seems like something has happened just in the last few hours where people are just waking up like, this is what I'm going to do. Really just breaking the mold, stepping into their power, being very logical, having just a lot of confidence to take charge and be really creative and assertive, coming like having the strength to get out of this maze, this matrix. You have the Moon, the Strength card here, and the Nine of Swords. This is has required a lot of faith, a lot of courage. But here's the Eight of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, this does feel like twin flame energy to me. This is a lot of hard work, a lot of self mastery. Someone here has probably put in a lot of work to building a business. Someone here has already acquired some type of wealth or financial freedom on their own, or even for somebody, a lot of people, it may not have anything to do with money, but someone is independent. The Nine of Pentacles is someone who is just independent. You don't have any worries. But the Page of Pentacles, this is an
Mm-mm.
offer of the Four Wands of commitment. The Page of Pentacles, as I said earlier, with the tarot that we had, is it's an offer of a solid new beginning. Someone could be getting some type of message about a job. I'm seeing here, this may be very specific and it won't resonate for everyone, but I'm literally seeing where some of you may come together with someone, and as soon as you come together, one of you may have to take a job somewhere and move, or you may have to change your residence or something. There's something here that's about to happen extremely fast, but it's meant to be that way because the two of you are meant to come together and teamwork and collaborate to overcome the devil. There's blockages that have always been in your path, but it just seems like no matter what it is, all the two of you, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Nine of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the Temperance card, and then the King of Cups. So remember how I just said, because the image that I saw was you and this person have both been in a maze. You're going to get to the exit at the same time and walk out hand in hand together. And we just saw the Queen of Cups. And I said the Queen of Cups has become the High Priestess. The Queen of Cups has evolved. So the Queen of Cups may get to the exit just a little bit before the King of Cups. But this King of Cups is not there's a couple here. Your masculine is not going to be left behind. You may really be feeling like right now this you're just ready to give up here. Nine of Cups, the Ten of Swords. There's been so much heartache, pain, and betrayal and suffering here. Some that was the fault of your person, but a lot of it has just been thrown at the two of you. This to me really doesn't feel like someone that has done a lot of stuff to you. And that's why I'm saying about these past energies, you have to be careful. This feels like a connection between two people that has just been very, very hard to get to because of all of the external things that have been thrown at the two of you to purposely put you in some type of maze and have all of this confusion. This doesn't feel to me like a connection where someone has just purposely been doing things to leave you devastated. Okay, so just be mindful, especially if people
on in something that you're not aware of, it is attached to this good news. Okay, so I'll leave it there,
What's
my
up?
beautiful
Yeah.
Sagittarius. I hope something resonates in this reading for you. If it does, please like and subscribe to my channel, completely of light. Well, hello, my beautiful Capricorn. Welcome to your Star Wayne message. I'm going to cleanse your space hourly, so let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Capricorn, this is your Starway message. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome. But just to let you know, the 5th house and the 11th house will be governing you over the next 4 to 5 weeks. Now, your 5th house is all about the pursuit of pleasure. So you're going to be looking at going out there, having fun, meeting up with friends. It can also be about relationships, the pursuit of love. If you're already in a relationship with somebody, it can be about enjoying that relationship and connecting to them on a deeper level. Also, your 11th house is about your hopes and wishes. So that's about connecting to your calling, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish long term, but also it governs social circles, networking, and things like that. So really, this next 4 to 5 weeks are all about going out there, having new experiences, and connecting to new people and new energy. So very positive time for you. I'm just going to go and get the details before I connect to your reading. Thanks so much, Spirit Guides, Guide Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Capricorn? What do they need to know? Can you please guide them for their highest good? What are they meant to be aware of? Okay. I see you trying to understand something that you've been wrestling with. You're really trying to listen to your inner calling, to your inner knowing, to find a solution to something that perhaps you've been wrestling with. I definitely see you making adjustments in your life to bring a lot more energy and excitement into your world as well. Okay, look, there it is, the Sun card, the Ace of Wands, 3 cups, going out and having fun. You're making adjustments because I feel like you've been working really hard or trying to focus on your commitments, and you may have been overworking yourself a little bit there as well. So I feel like you're trying to find a solution, adjust your schedule perhaps in order to find more time for you and more time for enjoyment. I'm just going to pick one more card for you. Thanks so much, Spirit Guides, Good Angels. We have eggs. Yeah, definitely new energy entering into the mix for you. Now, what do I see overall? I see some of you connecting to new projects. I see a lot of you very, very talented people, talented souls. I see you having new ideas and trying to initiate the first stages of something. So this could be a career project, could be a creative project. Some of you may be looking for new hobbies to get excited about and explore. I definitely see an energy here with the Three of Cups of you wanting to go out and have fun times. Now, also, there's something, a plan or strategy that you have. It's starting to come to light. It's starting to formulate for you. And I feel like there's some really great news that you've been expecting for a while is heading your way. And I feel like it brings, more finances your way. I feel like you're attracting more finances, but you're attracting something to celebrate, something that perhaps you've been making adjustments for in your life. Now, some of you may be trying to make personal development adjustments like a better diet, exercise routines, but I definitely see that you are making positive changes in your life that will benefit you long term. Now, your first card here is our first teacher is our own heart. So you're definitely going inwards, listening to your inner wisdom and to your guides in order to move forward in life. Or if there's anything you've been struggling with or trying to find a solution on, you're definitely getting clear by listening to your heart. You're the sort of person, my beautiful Capricorn, you march to the beat of your own drum. You do not live up to other people's expectations, and you tend to have an energy where, you are in control of things. So I feel if you felt a lack of control or a lack of motivation recently, I feel like you're regrouping your energy, empowering yourself. You're getting clear on what you want, and then you're taking action. Okay. And as I said, you're not listening to other people. You may take advice from other people, but I don't see you, living up to their expectations. I see you living up to yours. Also, we've got the card of the calling. So this is you really wondering how you make an impact. Are you following your true north? What is your path ahead? And which next steps should you be taking? I'm just going to pause. There's wonderful parakeets. They're so curious about this reading. They've been flying about in the reading. It's so wonderful. I wonder if they'll come and visit. They keep flying overhead because they're so intrigued about what's going on. I've just taken the reading outside today for Sarwayne. Back to your reading. It says, expect to receive the news that you've been patiently waiting on. And it says calls, texts, news, communication, information. So whatever it is that you feel perhaps has been delayed or something you've excitingly been waiting for, you're going to get confirmation of that in the next 4 to 5 weeks, okay? This could be to do with love. It can be to do with career. This is a short reading just for Sarwayne. So
I don't miss the whole damn reading.
but there is an important, significant conversation or a message of importance that is headed your way and you've been waiting for it. It'll actually change your circumstances for the better, okay? Now, also, you're a visionary. They're showing me you're a visionary. Something you've been watching and waiting on, either you're strategizing. It could be a plan that you've got, or it could be some new path that you're trying to launch. You've been watching and waiting for the right moment. I feel like you will know with your inner wisdom when it's the right time to sort of launch this or take action on something that you've been just sort of like mulling over for a bit. Okay, we've got the one who sees, observe, perceive, scrutinize. Now you are someone who is very intuitive and you're really good at sort of noticing people's body language. Okay, so with the truth card there of the justice, I feel like you're going to be in a group of people. Now, this could be connected to a goal that you've got or a business deal that you're doing, or it could be just to, you meeting new people. You're a very good judge of character, and I feel like you will sort of use your intuition to guide you as to who you can trust and who you cannot trust, okay? So they're just showing me that some of you may actually implement some of the body language skills you have into your day-to-day, whether that's, as I said, in career or love, that sort of thing. But I feel like you are, at the moment, a watcher. Some of you may be in a bit of a limbo mode where you're pausing while you strategize. You're seeing, if we apply it to the world, you may be watching and waiting for things to change so that you can launch a new idea, new business, or buy a house or things like that. You may be looking at things like inflation and interest rates and things like that, and just waiting for the right moment to sort of go in and capitalize on things that really benefit you long term. Now we've also got the one who listens, and as you can see, she's got her hand over her heart chakra. So this is about really listening to your heart. It's the second card that indicates you must listen to your heart in all dealings. Now, you're someone who's very logical, very grounded, and you're someone who's very practical. But don't forget to engage your heart in all situations, because your heart, it whispers sometimes, but we need to have, moments of stillness in order to hear it. Your heart is important, because if you are not fulfilled from the heart, then you will move forward. You can be very successful, but you will feel unfulfilled. So it's important to love what you do, and it will love you back. Okay. Same with love, of course. But it says understanding, witness, and compassion. Now, for some of you, you may be called by a friend, for example, who needs your care and your compassion and your understanding, and you will help them find a solution. So there may be a friend in need who moves towards you or reaches out to you at this time. Watch out for that. I feel this is someone that you would readily help in an instant. You'd be there for them no matter what. But this person later on in the future actually comes to your help when you are needing a solution to something. They come with a gift. I feel like you're gifted for your advice or your care. Now, you're not doing this to get a gift or get anything from it, but I feel like you benefit in the long term by being such a wonderful, good friend. Okay, that's coming through heavily. We've also got this card, eggs. So definitely new energy. You're either launching something new or you have a new idea. I do apologize about the airplane. Suddenly, I found myself in um, a flight path, and I'm not really sure how that's happened, but it has, and so I'm having to shout a little bit louder. So anyway, let's move on to your card. It says starting over, saving up, resources, nest egg, healthcare, new opportunities, insurance. Okay, so I feel like you're securing your position wherever you're at. Some of you may be launching new ideas, whatever it is that is new in your energy or that you're trying to set your sights on. It is going to be very lucrative. Okay, these are all golden eggs. And I feel a lot of you are going to be able to save a little bit more money than usual, and you're protecting the money that you've already saved as well. Now, we do have a King of Swords here. Some of you may get a sudden promotion, or suddenly you'll have a desire to set up your own business, become an entrepreneur. I definitely see this being something that's very successful for you. You may be dealing with a lot of contracts as well, a lot of paperwork over the next couple of weeks. Please pay close attention to the fine details. You want to make sure you get all the ins and outs of a contract. You don't want any surprises. Although I actually only see positive energy here for you. I don't see anything negative to be worried about. The Justice card is about finding balance in your life. So you've been working really hard and your focus has not been on having fun. It's time to readdress the balance. Also, this is a card of truth, being honest with yourself and seeing where you need to make adjustments in your life so that you're enjoying yourself a little bit more. Also, some of you may deal with legalities, things like tax or bank institutions and things like that, institutions or establishments that you have to connect to in order to sort of get clear on the next steps ahead, or get clear on bills or contracts or setting up bank accounts, things like that. I definitely see contracts being something that you will be dealing with in the next 4 or 5 weeks. Three Cups, there is a reason to celebrate. So it could be a new contract coming in that you sign, could also be a new position that you're offered, or new status, or even new money that is given. It could be a bonus here for you as well. Three Cups, I see you going out with friends, perhaps friends that you haven't spent time with for a while. I definitely see a lot of fun times with this card, and I see a gift being offered to you. There's some sort of opportunity being gifted to you, and it's something that will make you really excited. There's a lot of passion that you can put into this, and it is something that you're doing with your heart. It's no accident that you got the Queen of Cups. She's got the chalice over her heart chakra. So this is about self-care and loving what you do. This is something you're going to really be focused on over the next 4 to 5 weeks. If you don't enjoy what you do, you're cutting it out. That King of Swords tells me you're being discerning, you're being precise, and you're getting clear. You're strategizing. Does it work? No. Get rid of it. Is it enjoyable? No. Get rid of it. So I definitely see you sort of forming a new path ahead for you where you're looking at your value and getting true value for your worth. Okay. Queen of Cups, definitely some self-care needed here. I feel like it's time to kick back and relax. If you've been going a mile a minute, it's time to really sort of implement healthcare routines and, enjoy a little bit more me time. Ace of Wands, there's going to be plenty of time to do stuff. You're going to initiate change in your life. This is radical transformation. You're aligning yourself with success with this card, and I feel like you are on the right track. This is a card of a major breakthrough. You're going to get a sudden boost of energy. That's why they want you to rest before things start to move forward at a greater pace. So your passion is your power. Some of you, I definitely see some of you are trying to buy a home or save for a home. And if that's something that you are trying to formulate, you will actually find one that you are interested in, and you may actually think about it before you move forward on it. But I feel it is something that is affordable, and you will find the right moment. I feel there may be a dip in like interest rates, things like that, that allows you to maybe make a little step towards it. I know it doesn't seem like it at the moment, but my guides are giving me that there'll be another little wobble that actually works in people's favor. So, be mindful of that. Now, the outcome energy, we've got the sun, success, accomplishment, happiness, warmth, enjoyment, relationships flourishing. Now, if you are looking for love and you do not have love at this moment, I see you making adjustments in your life in order to get out there and meet new energy. And there is going to be a spark of something between you and a person who's got strong fire in their chart. They could be Leo, Sag, or there's a little bit of Aries there as well. They could also be Cancerian energy. The Sun card is a strong Leo card, so this does indicate that they've got very strong Leo in their chart, and this is a very passionate connection. I feel like it's very hot and heavy, and I feel like it could be something that is more for the long term. You'll think about this person in the long term, but I feel like there's a spark, a chemistry between you and someone new. If you're in a relationship, I see you getting married to this person, or if you're already married to this person, some of you may be relocating or taking a vacation to warmer climates to sort of enjoy time together. King of Swords, something you've been thinking about for a while, some sort of strategy or plan that you have is going to be successful, and it will allow you to build your nest egg and be financially stable. Excuse me. I definitely see you finding solutions to any issues you've been going through. If you've been going through difficulties, you will find a way to resolve your problems, and you will move through that energy, okay? I'm just going to get some final cards for you before I close your reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. These readings are only a quick reading for Sarwayne, just a quick check-in, bonus reading there for you all. So I go into my depth in other readings, of course. We've got Owl Magic. Now, Owl indicates you have a lot of knowledge, but also you see things clearly. Something you've been observing will sort of come to term, it will be successful, and it will actually bring a lot of happiness into your world. It says, choose to know the truth because you can. Open your inner vision. You can see through deception. Let the past go and make room for a better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright. Okay, so very important energy there. Remember, body language. You're really good at body language. You can see through any, excuse me, untoward energy. Although I don't see anything negative here for you right now. I only see positive. Okay.
There are 3 levels that are under the regulation of the periodicity of 14 and its division into 1000. Those 3 levels are the spiritual development of man, the intellectual development, and the body. The body is verified by the 7 meridians that run down the front of the body. If we turn this figure around, there are 7 more down the back for a total of 14. 14 for the body, 14 for the mind, and 14 for the spirit. This number is also an aspect of the Manvantara. It takes 14 manvantaras to make up a single kalpa, or 1 day of Brahma. If we look back to the relationship of the palm and the 4 digits being the measure through which we construct the whole figure of man, we can determine that the cerebral cortex has a digit value of 0.7305. If you multiply that number by 2, you get 1.461. Removing the decimal point, this, in years, is the exact cycle of Sirius, which is 1,461 years. That is how long it takes Sirius to complete one cycle. If you multiply 0.7305 by 50, you get 36.525. Move the decimal one place to the right, and you have the exact time in days it takes for the Earth to complete one solar cycle, 365.25 days. We are beginning to acknowledge our connection to Sirius, and it's spelled out in the width of the finger, which is the basic unit of measure chosen by Egyptian culture, who were the first people to record the movement and relationship between the sun and Sirius. It is all spelled out in the hand of man. There's an Egyptian wall painting of the death of Osiris. He is encircled by a serpent. On his body are black and white checks, of which there are 28. Osiris is the human form that lives and develops through a 7-fold, 14-fold system and goes through stages as a species of death and rebirth of his formation. The numerology of 7 and 14 is also present with Egyptian images of Osiris. Mythologically, Osiris represents the human species. He is the deity, which represents the entirety of our species. In this Egyptian image, we see a deceased Osiris that represents the end of the human species. From him, 28 shoots of wheat germinate, representing a new seeding. These are being watered by a man with a vase, which is the symbol of Aquarius, the same symbols for the zodiac still being used today. Osiris lays on a platform, which has 5 ankhs and 10 was scepters. The was is a staff with a dog's head, which very often symbolizes the dog star. It also symbolizes Anubis, the guardian of the gateway to the dead. The ankh is the symbol of life and the reunification of life. There are 15 symbols in total, if you add the 5 ankhs with the 10 was scepters. This symbolizes Osiris going through the death of one phase of our species and a process of time. It is suggested in the Puranas concerning the yugas that the human species is manifest for a period of 60,000 years. Then that manifest stage goes into a dormancy, a sort of mummification, where the energy for another round of its development requires another 60,000 years. It will also take 60,000 years for the Earth to rejuvenate itself. Here is another image of Osiris that continues our mythological investigation, which we are using as a key to interpret the duration of the Yuga. It is a depiction of a philosophy that is called the Lion's Path. It is an initiatory process of going through 14 stages of initiation. The Lion's Path is a metaphor for the 14 levels of energy that each soul is believed to pass through as it approaches its incarnation on Earth. It passes through them again after death and during post-mortem. Each one of those 14 levels is a passage through a particular vibration which emanates from a constellation, a star, or a planetary vibration. The star which imparts vibration to the development of the human soul and its sentient incarnation is the star Sirius. Then there are 13 planets. The first is one that is questioned in our time, resides beyond the orbit of Pluto, which we will call Vulcan, the invisible planet. Then we have Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Chiron, which are all part of the breakup of a previous planet. Next is Saturn, Jupiter, Xerxes, Mars, the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and the Moon. All of these represent the 14 levels of vibration which contribute to the formation of human consciousness. They are called the 14 amulets of Osiris, and those energies are gathered up in a particular proportion for each individual birth. and they are dispersed back to the previous level upon the soul's journey out. There are 3 dimensions of space and 3 durations of time. In other words, everything that enters into the manifest world must adhere to the law of 3. There is no such thing in the physical world as 2 dimensions. Everything in the physical manifestation has height, width, and a thickness. No matter how thin that thickness may be, there is nothing that does not have thickness. This is the prerequisite of the manifest world. We symbolize a 2-dimensional world with drawings.
What it do, Prophet?
Think about it so we can conceive of a 2-dimensional reality. It exists, but for it to manifest, it must be 3D and must have a time duration of either beginning, middle, and end, or before, during, and after. These are the 3 dimensions of time. These are the prerequisites. That's how our life is arranged. This is the requirement. 3 dimensions and 3 durations is the requirement of a manifest being. That is the difference between existence and manifestation. There are things that exist that are unmanifest. Pythagoras specified that in terms of the world of number, there are whole numbers belonging to the manifest world and the world of irrational numbers. That is a world of unresolvable continual decimals. Remember, all the roots of the key numbers are irrational. They exist, they have an existence, but they do not have a manifestation. They exist only in the mind. The mind conceives in the 2-dimensional world, and it perceives in the 3-dimensional world. This is very important to understand about the way we think, because we must make that differentiation, what really exists and what is actually manifest. 3 dimensions plus duration creates a 4-fold reality, and that is the nature of the manifest world, the number 4. That's the division you have to have in the manifest world, 4 directions or orientations, because it's occurring in both space and time. The square root of 3 is 1.72, and then it goes on infinitely. It's not perceivable. It's not reducible to whole numbers. 3 is, its root isn't. Very often, all the key formative numbers of sound and embodiment have an irrational root that it belongs to. Everything in manifestation adheres to the law of before and after. In other words, it's implicit in the 3 durations. This is the idea of death. Something begins and something ends. The purely existent world does not have a beginning or an ending. No matter whatever happens, wherever there is a manifestation of 3 of anything, it has a root that will exist forever. In Indian philosophy, they associate the existent level as being the domain of time, while the manifest level requires a space, a spatial location. For space to be manifest, for it to be a determined space, it needs to adhere to 4 directions. Space has the requirements of back and front, left and right, top and bottom, and most importantly, with space, you always have an inside and an outside. Once you fulfill those requirements, you're in a manifest world. Space's domain is the manifest, and time, which is something that we measure, but we never really know what it is, exists. You can imagine a realm that is not manifest, but exists, but you cannot imagine a manifestation that does not pre-exist or have its elements pre-exist. That's why the Yuga system is the primary teaching found in India. They do not give a hierarchical priority to time and space, but they give it a successional priority. Time and the structuring of time must occur before there's any structuring in space. One of the key phrases in the Puranas is, "Only that which has a manifest existence has a space which also exists." We separate ourselves from our space, and we call it the ecology. What's good or bad for the environment is directly good or bad for us. We suffer every pollution and every disturbance found in the environment. Every destruction that is inflicted on the environment, we experience in the physiology and metabolism of the body. Now let's do a little more number workings with 6,408. We have looked at the division of 6,408 by 7 which is 864. So right away, we are into that progression of numbers that we began to talk about in the first episode. 2,160 is the moon's diameter in miles, and half of that is 1,080, and half of that is 540. All significant measures and units in the size of the Earth, the moon, and in time begin with 27. 27 is 3 cubed. So that is the triadic nature of time and space when it takes on a volume and enters the physical world. It generates the numbers which control the time and space formations. If we take all these numbers and simply switch the zero around, 2,160 becomes 2,016. 4,320 becomes 4,032, and 8,640 becomes 8,064. All of these numbers exist in a ratio of 14 to 15. 2,016 over 14 equals 144. 2,160 over 15 equals 144. 4,032 over 14 equals 288. 4,320 over 15 equals 288. 8,064 over 14 equals 576. 8,640 over 15 equals 576. In John Michell and Robin Heath's study of Stonehenge, they found that the thickness of the stones in the outer circle compared to the inner circle has a ratio of 15 to 14. Just so we don't feel that this is coincidental, if we divide 6,048 by 9, you get 672, and then by 2, you get 336. 336 equals exactly 6 times 56. And 56 is the number of holes found at the Aubrey Circle at Stonehenge. So it begins to become doubtless. Then there's a megalithic measure that places these 56 holes so that they are 108 megalithic units apart. 56 times 108 equals 6,048. It's the duration of the Kali Yuga. All these key dimensions of 108 go back to 54, which is 2 times 3 cubed. As we showed with the palm of the hand, our entire perceiving, hearing, and articulation process occurs in the first 4 palms. There is research that recognizes that the human voice can differentiate exactly 54 different tones. The human speaking and articulating structure can enunciate exactly 54 phonemes or sounds. Our speech and our hearing are all keyed into the dimensions and movements of the earth. They are extensions of the same power inherent in these numbers. Twice the 3 levels of existence cubed made manifest. Whenever you get a cube, that's the manifest world. 54 to 56 is 27 to 28. It's all built into Stonehenge. Its builders knew enough of how to symbolically set up all of the stones in these relationships. It's as if the astronomical events dictated the architectural choices, not the other way. They didn't build it in order to observe it. It's like they knew it, and that allowed them to know how to build it. Because you couldn't set up an observatory like that unless you knew what you wanted to observe. You didn't set it up and discover, oh, the sun sets here, so we put the rocks here. To move those rocks from that distance and not know exactly what they wanted to count is preposterous, because they wanted to know where they were in time, not what time it was. That was already known. It is through the understanding of these sacred numbers that we began to know how the universe came into existence and manifested itself. Mithraism was a clandestine religion which preceded Christianity and was practiced in the Roman Empire from the 1st through the 4th centuries AD. The legacy of Mithra holds importance to the very core of secret religions and societies throughout Europe even today. Symbolic references to Mithraism appear in several institutions of spirituality and power, including Egyptian and Masonic temples, and even in the Vatican. This is Mithra, portrayed in this case as a lion-headed deity, a serpent coiling his torso. In this and other depictions, he has 4 wings, commonly portraying symbols representing the 4 seasons, oftentimes holding a key or 2, sometimes a scepter, sometimes a sword, and often atop a globe adorned with a diagonal cross. Mithra represents both time and the time process of the yugas. The lion-headed figure appears in a wide range of images from various periods in history. In this image from Manly Palmer Hall, he is depicted as a standing figure, coiled 7 times by a serpent. In his right hand are 7 stars arranged in a heptagon, and the 8th in the center. The serpent's head above the lion head encircles a key. He carries a sword woven 3 times by the serpent. This gives us another example of the 3 to 7 relationship to the precession of the equinox. Finally, bowing before him are 3 figures representing the 3 durations of time: the past, the present, and the future. He seems to be emerging from a carved stone, a monolith, within a quarry of rock. This symbolizes that Mithra, a time deity, born from rock, is embedded in the processes of earth and in its most permanent form, the formation of stone. This image and myth of Mithra leads us into an understanding of Gnosticism. The source of the Gnostic belief system is still not fully known, but it seems to have emerged from somewhere in the Middle East, perhaps from the region of the Caucasus between the Black and Caspian Seas, and the Armenian Plateau in what is today northern Turkey. Many of the teachers in this region, who may have come from lineages which originated in Babylon, influenced the sudden philosophical surge and outgrowth that resulted in the explosion of knowledge and culture in Greece. This sudden explosion of knowledge cannot be explained in any natural way, eventually becoming one of the most influential schools of philosophical development, and maintains that influence even today. Gnosticism is associated with this very early story and to the growth of esoteric philosophy in recorded history. The Gnostics revered a female deity by the name of Sophia. Sophia is a feminine goddess who the Gnostics believed began as an energetic field emerging from the center of the galaxy. This particular energy field carried within it all the vibrational qualities necessary for the manifestation of embodied consciousness. It was said that Sophia was of a certain quality of energy that serves the all. The all, with all capital letters, is the original primary unity. And the all, with lowercase letters, is the creation of the universe, in which everything comes out as separate parts. It's the same relationship of one as unity and one as units. As units, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on into infinity. This is the infinity of the unit, and this is the absolute, undefiled, undivided integrity of the totality. Sophia serves the all by reflecting back to it the beauty of its own creation. This is counter to the Greek and Judeo-Christian beliefs that mankind is made in the image of God. Through the Sophian myth, mankind is made as the mirror of God. This seemingly subtle difference between the mirror and the reflected image within the mirror is philosophically rather significant. Sophia is conceptually reminiscent of the beautiful wisdom of the Puranas. Whether we know it or not, all things come into existence through that which precedes it. The wisdom of Sophia infers that the whole creation of the all would not have a manifest existence unless it was reflected. Sophia makes the great sacrifice of being a universal field of energy, and she descends into the cosmos to begin a transformation into the earth. We are not talking about the earth as a particular sphere in a particular place in the spiraling galaxy, but rather the place process that allows consciousness to become manifest as form. The purpose that the Gnostics give to our existence, our origins, is that we must perceive and conceive with great accuracy the nature and profound characteristics of the all. Sophia began her transformation in Gnostic mythology. As the story goes, Sophia has within her the ability to create life, which she does with such profusion and force that life and life forms literally pour out of her. The elders, who govern all the forces that come from the center of this galaxy, saw that Sophia was in crisis. So they sent a force which could bring order and limitation and a permanent basis for the organization of her outpouring. This form came as a spiral, such as we see when we look at the seed pattern in a sunflower or in a pine cone. These patterns are arranged in a very precise order. You see it in every seed spiral of a sunflower or a rose or a lotus. They have 14 circles. That order, as we will see later, repeats over and over and over again in the relationships of the golden mean. That force that they sent to rescue Sophia, bringing in this process of formal organization, is called the Christos. This is the source myth of the name of Christ, the epithet that was acquired by Christianity. At the same time, a movement of Christianity set out to proclaim Gnosticism as a heresy, worthy of death. This became one of the many, though rarely discussed even today, genocidal periods that took place in Europe in the first few centuries of the Common Era. Normandy was an area of northern France occupied by the Normans, an ethnic group comprised of indigenous French and Norse Viking settlers as a result of decades of invasions on the French coast from Denmark, Norway, and Iceland. The Normans were some of the most skilled shipbuilders and sailors in European history. There is evidence of their influence as far away as North America, where it is believed that the Normans landed in Nova Scotia sometime in the 1300s and traveled south to what is today Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Cape Cod. Back in Europe, the Normans grew in power and influence. Coupled with influence from Persia and the Byzantine Empire, the Normans of southern France, as it is speculated, eventually formed a religious group known as the Cathars. The Cathars came under constant ridicule and contempt by the Church of England, and as a result formed yet another religious group known as the Puritans in the 16th and 17th centuries AD. The Puritans were, again, a seafaring bloodline, and in their attempt to purify the Church of England, were the first people to found permanent settlements in America. There are infamous stories of Norman bloodlines who played significant roles in the discovery and identification of otherwise unexplored corners of the globe. Many of these Normans traveled east and founded the Knights Templar at the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, and supposedly brought back the treasures from King Solomon's temple. In Scotland and England, there started the famous bloodline of the Sinclair family. Henry Sinclair, Earl of Orkney, was a great explorer and launched a series of sea expeditions, including to Nova Scotia. There is speculation that Henry Sinclair was also a Knight Templar, and that his voyage to the New World, nearly 100 years before Columbus, was funded by the Templars. This is yet another segment of world history that is kept under the carpets of the academic world. However, we have ample proof that these Normans traveled both west to make the first discoveries of the so-called New World and east into the ancient world, pulling together under the dictates of their Gnostic religion and the dictates of the laws of Mithra, the laws of time. They brought back treasure to Europe, much of which has given way to legend and lore, including being buried in sites such as Rennes-le-Château in southern France. While much of this is considered quasi-history, there are historical characters who came out of the same bloodlines of Northern Europe, such as Bernard de Clairvaux, who it is claimed was instrumental in creating the ideal of Christian nobility, known as the Knights Templar. All of this is involved with a single family, a single bloodline, that organized itself into secret societies and maneuvered beneath the surface of the Christian world as a hidden faction. Many of the conflicts that have contributed to a bloodied European history are the result of the hidden struggles between these factions. Remember that Christianity spread throughout Europe thanks in large part to a group which we identify as the Apostles, the disciples of Jesus Christ, particularly Paul and his negotiations with the Roman Emperor Constantine, who took control over the formation of the last phases of Christianity. Not only did Constantine allow Christians to live freely in Europe, he assisted them in building up out of the collapsing structure of the Roman Empire. The church took over these structures as the monastic system. That is the way Christianity was able to take over and continue the power of Rome in the disguise of the cleric or the priest. Both of these factions, one overtly through the establishment of institutions and philosophies, and one covertly through bloodline, were following the dictates of the Yuga. They used the Yuga dates and Yuga forces to implement their power. Remember, those Yuga forces are the forces of the Kali Yuga, which ultimately lead to disintegration and destruction. The Norman world underwent devastating attacks from the factions that were reformulating the Roman Empire into the Holy Roman Empire with the help of the proliferation of Christianity. During this period, anyone whose philosophies contradicted that of the predominant Christian philosophy was met with strict resistance and, in many cases, genocide. Such was the fate of paganism. However, at that time, several members of the Templars had risen to tremendous power. They used their seafaring instincts from their Norman bloodlines to set up vast networks of trade all around the Mediterranean Sea. With that trade, they were able to amass great fortune in material wealth, which they were then able to loan to various European kings who were suffering financially due to constant wars. The Templars then, with this acquisition of material wealth and power, soon became the target for the Vatican and the Holy Roman Empire, which attempted to wipe out the Templars once and for all. But the Templars' command of the sea continued. Using the maps of the unexplored world handed down through the Norman legacy, which occupied the Mediterranean coastline, as well as southern France and Spain at the time, the Templars identified a naval officer by the name of Christopher Columbus. After the Church's attack on the Cathars in southern France, the Templars dispersed. They made settlements in Germany and the Netherlands. One of the great Norman warriors was William the Conqueror, who took the Norman tribes into power in England. But that Norman power became overwhelmed by the gent of Christianity, Oliver Cromwell, Lord Protectorate of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland, and Ireland. There is this constant structure of conflict and bloodshed that is based on this earlier platform of conflict brought against a deeply philosophical tradition that the Roman movement attempted to annihilate in Europe. The Templar philosophy, mentality, and belief was then brought to the United States via the Puritans. And Washington, D.C. became a receptacle for their belief system, with the founding fathers carrying out every foundational ceremony of Templar Masonry. America has been constantly subjected to a history that has a substructure that is a continuation of that which began in the Middle East at the time of the advent of the Kali Yuga. Whenever factions come into conflict or duality comes into being, there is an initiatic teaching that sees this division into conflict as a potentiality to enhance and create a hierarchy.
Hey, y'all heard him talking that shit in the background? See, that's the shit I be talking about, see. He don't want me. If I ain't giving him no attention, he get mad. Prophet, you heard him talking that shit in the background? Oh, if I know that, I would have paid that damn car insurance. You know what, all that shit. See how you gonna ride then. You know what I'm talking about? He was like, we fine. He come when got a fire stick, another fire stick. Now he know every day I be recording until a certain time, and then I stop. Instead of him waiting until I, take my little break, he got to come in and out the room. He do it every day. And all you got time for is that bullshit back there. You know what I'm saying? You didn't hear him talking shit? I thought you heard him. We'll be right back here. I said, I'm trying to build good. I'm trying to do something for myself. I'm trying to build something for me. See what I'm saying? Now, if it was something proper than him, he wouldn't have no problem with it. See what I'm talking about? But then I told him, I said, I'm over 300 subscribers. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, I get money. I start making money. He talking about shit. See what I'm saying? Want to naysay. He don't want to try to uplift and help me. He just want to talk shit. See what I'm talking about? I ain't in love with that motherfucker.
This is a pentagon that is in opposition to the structural formations and principles that hold cohesion to a society. The 5 sides of our pentagon represent war, famine, plagues, pollution, and natural catastrophes. These are the fastest and most effective ways to bring about a breakdown in society and a mass depopulation. Most of these are now active in our times, and this whole pentagon of destruction is underway. This is a clear signal that we are in the Kali Yuga. We have already entered the twilight of the end phase of this cycle of human development. In terms of military weaponry, we are able to emulate all of these natural changes and natural catastrophes. Pollution, of course, is something that we all have become aware of. But even after the last 60 years of this awareness, no real moves have been taken to stop it. Famine and the power of famine is constantly being increased. Even with science and technological advances, we see an intensifying in the tendency towards famine and starvation in the world. Science has also contributed to the principle of destruction with the manufacturing of biological weaponry. With this pentagon, we can see that this sort of information exists in ancient texts and alerts us to the effective use of symmetry and diagrams for conveying conceptual ideas. It shows the way that we can move between mythology, mathematical and geometric symbolism, mythological symbolism, and other information structures. Doing this will help us think in terms of ideas from the past and present circumstances as well. Perhaps, like the Kamutef, which is an epithet of the Egyptian gods Amun and Min, this way of thinking can aid us in considering possible futures. The pentagon holds the entire geometry of the golden mean. The golden mean is the ratio which can produce a series of numbers in which the small and the larger part have the same relationship to each other as it does to the whole. This is the geometry of the transcendent potential of the manifest world. The proportion of the golden mean goes in two directions. We have passed from the world of the absolute unity to the created world, and we've included the manifestation of mind, the existent manifestation, and the manifestation into the three-dimensional world. It goes one more stage to lead to the fourth power. Then the proportional relationship stops. It is no longer in a relationship of this is to this, in the same way that this is to that. It ceases to be the three-term proportion of individual parts to the whole. Smaller to the larger, larger to the next larger, larger to the whole. This idea necessitates that we posit an experiential dimension outside of the manifest world, above it, as well as the intellectual process within. Interestingly enough, it does the same thing in the opposite direction, in what we call the inverse. Remember, any number is really a number that stands over 1, and its inverse is when 1 stands above it. So every number and its inverse goes back to 1. 1 over 5.
Yeah, see, that's how narcissists do. They want to try to make you just depend on them. See, they want to make you feel like don't nobody else want you but them. So, but see, since I took my power back, it's a problem. See, he ain't about being enlightened. You know, but he claimed to be a Christian, but motherfucker, you ain't no Christian. You ain't nothing but the devil. See what I'm talking about? You want to try to feel like they can pull your strings. Talking about, like the car insurance and all that shit. See what I'm talking about? That's narcissistic shit. And then ain't nobody here with me and him. What the fuck I'm gonna cook for every day for? And half the shit get thrown away. That don't make no damn sense. Cause I really don't be eating all that meat and shit like that. So what I'm gonna go in there and cook all that shit for? Cook a pot, 2 or 3 pots full of shit, and anybody but here but me and him, and the shit gonna get thrown out. What sense do that make?
Fourth power is the process of not having a state of being with its inverse. Once again, these are all in line. The ratio ceases to be a proportion after 4 levels. All this knowledge on a mechanical level is held within the reproductive image of the pentagon. The pentagon, of course, also holds the pentagram, which is the image that is associated with the proportions of man. Since we have started to talk about the origins of Gnosticism and the beginnings of Templarism, the inverse pentagram holds the head of the deity called Baphomet, who was the figure of worship for the Templars. This is the warning that while the figure that encloses humanity holds both all the creative powers of light and order and purity and balance, it also holds in its inverse the complete image of darkness and disruption. With the pentagon, we are remembering that Isis refertilizes herself with the phallus. This implies the reproductive composition held within the head of the phallus as a pentagon. Again, the transparency between geometry and biological form continues. As we know, the central offices of all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces are housed within the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. may be the esoteric capital of the world. There are thousands of examples of ancient geometry and mythological imagery scattered throughout the district. One such example of this is an image of a Greek zodiac. This design shows Hermes, Zeus, and Aphrodite, the 3 main characters in Greek mythology, encircled by the 12 signs of the zodiac.
I told you that.
Capricorn, Aquarius,
telling y'all that.
Pisces,
That's why I wish you would have heard him. You didn't hear no yelling in the background about
Gemini,
I wish you would have
Cancer,
heard him.
Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio,
That's
and
why I tell you I'm
Sagittarius.
moving silence. That's why I don't be letting them
Hermes,
know what I be doing.
on the right,
I be smacking
represents
back on these
wisdom,
motherfucking ass.
knowledge. He is similar to Vishnu in that he is
wonder
the principal
why he
figure of
getting karma.
cohesion
See,
and the
he getting
maintenance of
karma
form,
and don't even
order,
realize why
and
he having so
continuity.
bad look. Social Security
The
people
figure
ain't
in the
sitting
middle
there checking
is
too much.
Zeus.
See what I'm
He is
saying?
the image of hierarchy,
All kind
the
of shit
god of
going on. You got
militarism
heart
and
problems and
government through
all these
force
health
and
issues they're gonna
power.
operate on your ass again. But you know
Aphrodite,
so
on
damn
the
much, but
left,
you gotta always call
represents
me
not
to
only
come
love
do
and
something, but
beauty,
you know every
but
damn
also the
thing.
manipulation of those factors, as is evident in our
And then
society, where
that ain't helping
sexuality
you
and
get in
beauty
karma for
are
all the
used
shit
as
you
a
be
system
doing
of
to me.
distraction and
And
manipulation of human
too
energy.
stupid. I mean, too stupid to even realize it.
Hermes points with his right hand to the astrological sign of Pisces, the age that we are presently in terms of the precession of the equinoxes. The sun will move out of Pisces after having spent the entire era of Christianity, 2,160 years, in that sign. When the age of Pisces comes to an end as a major celestial influence on human life and the earth, we will then pass into Aquarius. Zeus, god of the sky and thunder, holds a staff, his right hand pointed above between the signs of Scorpio and Sagittarius, at nearly the exact position of the center of the Milky Way. In 1998, the sun went past this exact point that Zeus is pointing to, and moved from Scorpio into Sagittarius. The number 1998 is 37 times 54. It's also symbolically 3 and 7, the number which defines important intervals in the Yuga. Additionally, the slope of Zeus's right forearm is in direct alignment with the anti-center of the galaxy, which occurs between Taurus and Gemini. Furthermore, the left heel of Hermes is implanted exactly in the
If you notice, I always be saying that I move in silence.
Yuga.
You know, I always say that, right? That's because that's why I be doing shit, hiding, stashing, without him knowing. Because if he know I got some money or whatever, if he know how much I got, he gonna always try to think of something that we need to spend some money on. So I'm talking about, try to keep me broke. But I learned that strategy, see. But I'm not gonna just up and leave and ain't got the money to support my. You know what I'm saying? I want to at least have me something, so when I do leave, I have something in my pocket, and I'm gonna get the fuck on from here. When he know before he know anything, he gonna leave, and when he come back, I'm gonna be motherfucking gone.
Time that astronomers recognize that a group of asteroids entered the outer ranges of our solar system, within the orbit of Pluto, and have been working their way towards the sun ever since. Those asteroids are called the Taurid asteroids because they emerge out of the shoulder blade of Taurus, and they are expected to be within the Earth's orbit at the end of the Kali Yuga. Does all of this mean that the human race will suffer a catastrophe at the end of the Kali Yuga, at the end of the Great Cycle? Evidence in the Puranas may suggest something quite different. We have been looking at the possibility, especially with the large amount of symbolic and geometric knowledge that is found in the plans, monuments, and architecture of Washington, D.C., that there is a power elite which has somehow gotten a hold of the knowledge of the Yugas. This is a very threatening and challenging thought, because with the existence of a power elite comes an almost supernatural impetus to the utilization and employment of hierarchical power over generations of mankind. Perhaps this is happening again with the rumors of a very advanced secret space program. We have reason to believe that the power elites maintain a deep understanding of the real Yuga system, the one that we have been presenting throughout this series. If they know that the end of the Kali Yuga is coming, if they know that the sun will eventually supernova as described in the Vishnu Purana, might they be taking serious measures to protect themselves and their assets? Perhaps just like what is described in the Puranas is reoccurring now. If the many rumors of a secret space program are true, perhaps the elites are building arcs to eventually leave this earth. We know that there is photographic evidence from NASA and the European Space Agency, which indicates that, in the past, there may have been some sort of intelligent habitation on Mars and on the Moon. Maybe these are the places where the survivors lived between the Yugas over the course of 60,000 years. On Mars, it appears that there may have been a settlement, which may have endured damage from a comet or an asteroid. It even appears that there are monuments on Mars which resemble those that are in Egypt. A lot of this is speculation. A lot of this is conjecture. But there are photographs that can hardly be explained in any other way. There is also evidence in the form of computerized imaging, which may show underground structures found on Mars. Perhaps this is where humans can stay so that they are protected from the solar storm at the end of the Kali Yuga. Perhaps this is also the reason for the deep underground military bases here in the United States that began construction in the 1960s. Maybe some of the elites plan to go underground here on Earth to avoid their own demise. But if the cataclysm is as bad as the Vishnu Purana seems to describe, then going underground will not help. It would seem that one would have to leave the Earth completely in order to survive. That could perhaps explain the existence of a secret space program, as well as provide a motive for constructing such a program. Photographs taken by NASA show many odd features on the lunar surface. These appear to have been intelligently designed many years ago. If they are what they seem to be, it is very likely that these were built by humans in a distant age. Just as we have entered outer space near the end of the Kali Yuga, perhaps in the past we achieved even more advanced technology. We have seen the evidence of this civilization on both the Moon and Mars. Perhaps they came back here some 60,000 years ago and created our human race with Osiris as the archetype. Now, they are most likely leaving once again. The elites must somehow be financing a secret space program to leave the planet behind. Perhaps this is where all of the money in the black operations budgets have been going. With this final act, they believe that they will survive. So taking the cyclical nature of the yugas into consideration, the idea being expressed here is that in the future, some humans, namely the power elite, will attempt to escape destruction by leaving the Earth. For approximately 60,000 years, they will live on another planet altogether, while the Earth heals itself from the previous Kalpa. And perhaps during that time, they will devise the next human. We can see from this series that time and space are part of a continuous cyclical interaction that both creates and destroys. The destiny of the human race is a vital aspect of this process of creation. By understanding the cycles of time, we can speculate that a new human archetype will emerge at the beginning of the next Mahakalpa.
On October 29, 2017, an exhibit titled Never-Ending Stories opened at the Kunstmuseum in Wolfsburg, Germany. The art show attempted to trace the idea of a root structure through all mediums and all cultures. This amazing show gathered art pieces from the ancient Egyptian serpent Ouroboros all the way to contemporary multimedia interpretations. It asked the question, why was this structure present in all aspects of human creativity?
I left, right? That before I had my own car. That's why I got my own car because of that shit. So we didn't have one vehicle. It was in both our names. But every time he get mad, his car, right? So he don't pack up his shit 2-3 times and left. So this particular day, I packed up my shit, called the cab. He was gone. So just what happened, the cab was pulling up, and he was pulling up at the same time, right? Oh, you going to see your nigga now, huh? I said, no. I said, you said you were going to leave? I'm going to leave until you get the hell on, then I'll be back. Oh, I guess you're going to fuck tonight. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make you feel, talking loud and shit like, just, and then the cab man said, wow, that's your husband. I said, yeah. He's like, hey. He's like, wow. I said, yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Just because I said I was going to leave because I'm tired of this shit, I'm going to see my nigga, I'm going to fuck good. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But you pack up your shit and leave, I don't say that shit. And then the whole time I was gone, from the minute I left, you blowing up my phone. Texting, calling, texting, calling, texting, calling. When he left, when he called the police, remember I told you he called the police that time about 3-4 months ago. Soon as he left, he come calling me to Walmart down the street. Can you come pick me? I said, for what? Ain't you got a damn car? I wasn't even at the house. I was gone. I don't even got me a goddamn motel room. Yeah, I did go fuck that day. Damn sure did. He come blowing up the phone, texting. I said, you didn't think about it. I said, wait, I don't forgot where I parked it. I hung up the phone on his ass. He called right back. The dog got out the door. How long for you people? You know what I'm saying? He think of shit to try to call, but the dog got out the door. You better, when you gonna come home, let the dog in. See what I'm saying? That was probably something he did. He probably let him out to try to get me back, but I still didn't come back. So I got ready to come back. Okay, I forgot something. I need to get in the house. I said, what? He left the key on the bar up there in the living room. I said, well, when I get back home, I'll call you. Okay. Seems like every 15, 20 minutes, he called my phone. Every 15 or 20 minutes, he called my phone. That's why I said when I leave this time, I'm getting the fuck out of Burnsville, Georgia. That's why I said I'm not going to leave nowhere broke. I'm trying to stack up my paper. So when I get the fuck on, I'm going to be gone. He ain't going to know where the fuck I'm at. As long as he think I'm here in Brunswick, he going to try to aggravate me. And stop me.
Since the beginning of time. Although that answer is still up for interpretation, this series begs the question, why are circular structures or loops also dictated with dragons or serpents? And why do some of these loops also depict crosses or star shapes in the center? What is it we desperately keep trying to remind ourselves of? And will this conclusion bring us full circle to the truth? Around the date 337 AD, Romans embraced the concept of Christianity and celebrated the birth of Jesus on the 25th of December. But before Christianity, and even after its influences, another holiday was widely celebrated around the same time, and it was called Saturnalia. It fell on the 17th of December and lasted for 7 days. This festival was dedicated to the god Saturn, an agricultural deity that reigned over the world in the Golden Age. This, according to legend, is when humans enjoyed the bounty of the earth without labor in the state of innocence. This festival was to represent the freedom of humanity, where slaves could be served by their masters, and women and men could dress and say whatever they would like. It was a time of liberation. Even the statue of Saturn at his very own temple in Rome was bound with wool until the festival when he was liberated for 7 days from the rules of society. Could these ancient people have been carrying on an even older tradition that wanted to keep the knowledge of the Golden Age alive so that we wouldn't forget that at one time life was different on Earth? And if this is true, could this tradition fall in line with the electric universe theory that at one time we orbited Saturn, bathed in a red glow of innocence, until the day our new sun arrived to change the format of our lives?
Proto-Saturn, as we called the object, which we describe also as a brown dwarf star, was observed by people on Earth as being a kind of misty environment. There was no rain. The water accumulated through a kind of mist because we were actually orbiting in the very thin plasma loaded with material from the body of Proto-Saturn. So the sky was largely obscured. Also, that light being red, it was very conducive to photosynthesis. All of this contributes to the idea that we were living in a totally different and
being with another ain't got nothing to do with knowing self. You be with another because you love a person, you know what I'm saying, and you want to share your life with a person and grow together. That's what it's all about, see? But you still got to be your own individual inside of that relationship. So you cannot try to inform a person to be somebody that you want them to be. See, everybody needs companionship. I mean, I don't mind being alone, but if I love somebody, yeah, it's forever. Hey, yes, I like sex. I love the fuck. And I won't fuck. I won't be with somebody I'm going to be with the rest of my life. Period, point blank.
the light was from a different source than what we receive today. It all fits with the idea that this is a very good environment for life, and that has significance also for the planet Mars because it was in the same environment. The ancients didn't seem to be able to distinguish other objects within this glowing sphere because of the material that was causing this mistiness in the atmosphere. So that was the so-called Golden Age, the era of the Garden of Eden, and these kind of references in creation myths. And it was regarded as being a time when you didn't have to struggle to survive. After the breakup of the system, life was hard. People had to figure out how to survive, how to actually cultivate crops instead of just harvesting continually. It was a time when flowers began to appear, coloured flowers, because in the earlier environment, flowering plants were non-existent. So all of these features that have been uncovered by the physical scientists matches the record passed down through all of these very ancient cultures.
The ancients themselves often speculated about a relationship between Kronos as the planet Saturn and Chronos spelled with a C as meaning time. Saturn, interestingly, tends to be associated with enclosing bands, like he's imagined to be imprisoned, tied up in bands. It's interesting to notice that the ancient mythical beliefs associated with the planets continue down through history for many thousands of years, and they definitely influence the development of sciences like alchemy, certain forms of magic, astrology.
It's quite possible that even after the celebration of Saturnalia faded from society, some people still wanted to honor the original god of Earth and a golden age through esoteric worship. Cults that associate themselves with Saturn seem to go against societal norms. Ironically, many of these esoteric signs use symbols that look similar to electric interactions with plasma. The theory suggests that these images appeared once the red glow had disappeared from our planet and we were captured by our current sun. These symbols would have marked the beginning of a new era and the end of an older one.
One of the most exciting discoveries of my lifetime was when I had a chance to interact with Tony Peratt, the Los Alamos physicist. And we were like trying to figure out, we know that the cross in the middle is a conjunction of Venus and Mars, but what are they doing there?
Hey, guess what? I already knew that motherfucker was going to start some shit before every time he starts some shit. I know it's going to happen before it even happens. That's why I be ready for that shit. See, I don't try to stoop this level, see. But when you argue back and all that shit, that be lowering your vibration. See, that's the energy vampires. See, they got to, when you drop that your energy and you ain't giving them that energy, they got to try to provoke you so they can feed off of you.
Once we got together with Tony, he pointed out that these were experimentally verified part of plasma science, very well known, called synchrotron radiation. If you consult Peratt's published papers on the subject. He will show countless illustrations of this form. It's really kind of a dramatic confirmation of the electricity and plasma background of the polar configuration. Both Tony and I were impressed by the fact that one of the most ancient symbols of the Maya people displays this very image, where there's a four-fold star in the middle of a circle, and nestled in between each one of those stellar rays is one of these little circles. So you just couldn't have a more beautiful illustration of physics in action recorded by these prehistoric sky watchers.
You got that shit just because you want to be a monk. That's good. But I don't see life like that. Yeah, these are lessons. These are lessons we have to learn. When we go through these things, you're right about that. But you right about it's a lesson for us to know how to love ourselves. That's true. That's what I had to do. But it doesn't mean that you have to, it don't mean you're supposed to be alone. It just means that you work with the wrong person. Because people put each other together. The Most High don't put you together, because when you put it, that's true saying. But God has put together, and no one put us under. Because that's the one that God has specifically for you. The rest of these motherfuckers harmless because they lessons you. You know what I'm saying? They lessons you gotta learn. And once you master that lesson, that's when that lesson comes.
And these four streamers will show up in countless places in myth and symbolism. So it will be like the four rivers of the Garden of Eden, for example. It will be the four winds, the four directions. So ancient symbolism of the kings around the globe, the early kings of Sumeria will always say, I rule from the center.
And another thing, see, it's so easy for people, you know, like when I've been watching, I've been listening to watching the reading, so it's easy for a motherfucker to say, okay, well, you know what the situation is, just pack up and go. It's easy for a motherfucker to say that shit, right? But see, I'm telling you something, I wasn't raised like that. I'm not that type of person. I believe, I'm a Capricorn for one thing, and we believe in making sure that we got what we need, because I'm not going to just jump up out of here. Ain't got at least, if I ain't got over $2,000, that really ain't enough really for me to say just up and leave. I'm not gonna just leave here and be broke. Ain't got how to worry about how to get gas, get where I'm gonna get it, worry about where I'm gonna stay when I get somewhere. I ain't going through all that shit, but I believe in being prepared. You know what I'm saying? That's what the whole deal is, prepared. That's why I told you I moved to South High Priest. Never let a motherfucker know what you're doing.
Of the four directions. I control the four winds. And that is the king himself assuming the role of the great God in heaven, Mars, who's sitting there in the center of these four winds. Another recurring symbol that you will find everywhere in prehistoric contexts is the pentagram. And so if you look at ancient Egyptian symbolism, for example, the symbol for the underworld is a circle with a pentagram inscribed in the center. And the pentagram traditionally will have, it's a five-pointed star, and it will have a red orb in the middle of it. And so if you go to Mesoamerica in prehistoric context as well, you will find the exact same symbol, where it's a five-fold star. And traditionally, the five radiating streamers are whitish in color, but there will be a red central core to that pentagram in many instances. And so we interpret that as a slight variation upon the Mars-Venus conjunction, which frequently displays either 4 or 8 streamers. But during the course of evolution, it displayed quite a few different radiating streamers, and in many instances those were preserved by the ancient artists for posterity.
If this demonstration is a good example of ancient symbols such as the cross, the pentagram, the ankh, and the wheel, How do these plasma interactions possibly explain our human fascination with loops, serpents, and dragons?
As Proto-Saturn got further into the solar system, it must have reached a point where the instability became so great that it actually ejected a fair proportion of its core material, which would be heavy elements, and it was witnessed and described. It's like the cosmic egg references, and also the encircling serpent, the snake biting its tail, the Ouroboros imagery. So Saturn became an orbiting object around in the sky about this central orb. When Mars began discharging strongly, Mars appeared, as it moved up the column, to enter into battle with the demons that were surrounding Venus. Venus appeared like a wildly disheveled, hairy creature. She was the archetype of the Medusa, the snake-headed goddess, because snakes, of course, are a feature of the mythology of the time. Serpents, the dragon, the fire-breathing dragon, which is an impossible creature, was something that was witnessed in the sky and appeared fiery simply because plasma is present in fire.
If the dragon was, in fact, a comet-like object in the sky that mythologically swallowed the sun, caused an eclipse, had feathers, had hair, those ideas originated with experiences of watching the sky. They have nothing to do with biology. There is no serpent on the planet Earth that breathes fire. There is no serpent on the planet Earth that has a beard. There is no serpent that has any feathers. And so the fire-breathing dragon traces to this comet-like object in the sky that circled about planet Mars and came to form the cosmos. And so every motif associated with the dragon, whether it's the fire-breathing part or the guarding of the treasures or the fight with the warrior, he will always trace to the relationship between this enclosure surrounding the planet Mars. And so these ideas of feathered serpents and dragons, the whole mythology surrounding dragons, it would be possible to list 100 different motifs surrounding dragons, like surrounding the golden horde or protecting the horde, have no reference whatsoever to modern biology or our understanding of serpents. It's strictly a celestial phenomenon that influenced peoples all around the globe. And so those memories still exist. Traditions are still being told today, many, many thousands of years later.
The electric universe theory allows you to look at so-called esoteric knowledge and try and understand it in terms of the past history of the Earth, because on looking at those, a lot of them have their origins in the symbology associated with all of the events of the breakup of the Proto-Saturnian system.
Thousands of years later, these same symbols seem to be incorporated in our everyday lives. But the team suggests not only do we have symbols ingrained in our minds, but we are surrounded by physical evidence of an electric universe. On December 18, 2018, in a remote area over the Bering Sea, a giant space rock exploded above Earth's surface. The energy it gave off was more than 10 times the amount of the atomic bomb detonated over Hiroshima. The exploded space rock is called by NASA a fireball. NASA recorded this December fireball to be the second most powerful one to enter Earth's atmosphere in 30 years. How does this fireball in the sky lend itself to the electric universe theory? And where can we see more evidence daily that an electric force connects us all?
It's strange when you think that the electric universe is manifest around us. Then, of course, there's lightning, which is more powerful, and we can begin to understand just slightly the effect of planetary thunderbolts, because they create both the noise, the light, and the damage on the surface of the Earth. And particularly powerful lightning bolts that come from the very tops of thunderstorms, the so-called super bolts, which can blast trenches in the ground.
I will let
and
that
have
there
been
stay there.
responsible for deaths on
I hope you come in
golf
here and see
courses
it.
and playing fields. And then there's just simple things like discharges with air ionizers, and we've all experienced the small wind that comes from them. So,
you know, one thing about that, see, people like that, they don't understand. They be calling themselves, be trying to say shit to try to, you know, make you feel down. That shit used to work, but that shit don't work no more. And see, they don't realize the shit they be saying be making their ass look stupid as hell.
electricity can be responsible for generating winds. And of course, in the times of these disasters in the past, some of those winds were overpowering, they were destructive on a colossal scale, and they were given names which were associated with the dragon in the sky, like typhoon, and the dragon in the sky was typhon. Then there is the phenomena that have been discovered above lightning storms, which were unsuspected. Airline pilots reported these flashes above thunderstorms long before they were accepted as being possible. This is just human nature. We reject the things which don't fit our map of how things work. The initial response is a knee-jerk one, which says, no, that's impossible. So airline pilots were actually afraid to report them for fear that it would impact on their employment. These discharges above thunderstorms, which are very fast and hard to see and film until high-speed cameras in recent years, have been shown to be a series of filaments that extend upwards to the ionosphere. And at the ionosphere, there are further phenomena called elves.
It's this damn Scorpio moon, man. All kind of shit been going on. The Scorpio eclipse.
They can be up to 80 kilometers
Scorpio
across,
came in, got there kicking down doors. Scorpio represents death.
Is part of the circuit which
death
connects
brings new
Earth
beginnings
to the solar circuit. So at the very outer edges of the Earth, we have the magnetosphere, and that connects at the poles along the magnetic field lines where the current comes in.
He just don't know. He gonna keep on fucking with me.
The aurorae feed
my ancestors gonna really get in that
ionosphere, and the ionosphere has circulating currents around the Earth which affect the Earth's magnetic field, and they induce currents in the Earth itself. So you can see that the circuitry of planets is quite complex.
The electric universe theory suggests that stars are formed on a circulatory system that creates a series of stars in the sky, like streetlights or beads. Where do we see this in our terrestrial?
Just like, I don't know if you had saw that video I had made that night when he was out there, when I had called the ambulance, when he was out there talking about, singing and going on and all that shit, right? He gonna come in here, come back in here. This was after I told you about he had called the police. He was so sick. Well, he was, but he still, see, motherfuckers don't like to take accountability for their bullshit. They just don't think they be wrong, but everybody else be wrong, see? You know? The God that I know, the God that I serve, now listen to this half-ass apology now. Well, you know, as I can understand the word, that if somebody, now listen, if somebody feel like you wronged them, then you supposed to ask for forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? If somebody feel that way, you still refuse to take accountability for your bullshit. Like you don't think you did nothing wrong. Now see, I still try to look over that, because see, that's the kind of people, that's what we supposed to do as spiritual beings, as spiritual souls. We don't supposed to hold hate, you know, in our heart against people. You know what I'm saying? We don't supposed to do that. You don't supposed to treat people the way they treat you. You still supposed to love them, you know, treat them with kindness. But let me tell you what my daddy used to say. You feed them from a long handle spoon. See what I'm saying? Once a motherfucker show you their true color, that's what you do. You feed them from a long handle spoon.
It has been observed in powerful lightning bolts that sometimes the current pinches off and forms a string of beads, and it's known as bead lightning. That is one of the indications that perhaps this is how stars are formed. Then we have St. Elmo's fire. That is a glow discharge. It's not a lightning discharge. That is St. Elmo's fire is a slow discharge from a pointed object or a high point on a building, a sharp edge. All of these things combined are our present experience of lightning and electrical activity in the Earth's atmosphere. Part of the difficulty in having people
And then what
understand.
really killed me now, Prophet, a motherfucker always talk shit, always end up needing you, see. They always end up needing you. See, like I said, yeah, I go within. I'll be back here in hermit mode. That's why I like to be back here doing what I'm doing. Cause see, this is my outlet to get things off my chest. See what I'm saying? To share my experiences with people, because that's what I feel like I'm here to do. Is to hear, to help to share my experience, because we all here to grow together. You know what I'm saying? I don't never encourage nobody to just say up and haul ass when I know how this world is. There's a whole bunch of shit going on in this world. You know. They say sometimes you got to try to deal with the devil, until you can, do better. You feel me? That's why I always say I move in silence. I just sit here and look like this. But all the while, my mind be clicking. You feel me? Strategizing, analyzing, you know, strategic, trying to being strategic in my moves and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do. See, I know how, like I say, I mean, everybody feel the way they feel, but I believe in God. I believe in Source. That's, the gift of life. I believe in that. I talk to Him. I talked to my parents. They both did. I talked to them. The angels and stuff. And I mean, see, he the type of motherfucker. See, if he can't have you, you know what I'm saying. He try to do shit to try to harm you. You feel me? That's why I have to move the way I move. See, people be on the outside. That's why, That's why I always go back and I think about how them old people used to say. Cause I'm an old soul. I've always liked to be around older people. And they used to always tell me when I was little that I was an old soul. See, the old heads used to always say, nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors. People appear one way to the outside world, but it's a whole different story behind them doors. And they say sometimes you have your hand in the lion's mouth. You feel me? When you got your hand in the lion's mouth, you have to be kind of cool and calculated. You know what I'm saying? You got to ease it out. Because if you snatch it out, that motherfucker gonna bite it off. You understand that symbology? See, I already know what the kind of shit, I'm called him. You know what I'm saying? Look a hustle a little bit, sell a little weed, I call the police on you and shit like that. See what I'm saying? That kind of bullshit. See? That's why I have to be silent and strategize. You feel me? Because motherfucker, you already called for one time said I threatened you and all that shit, but didn't not go with that. See? That shit didn't work out like you thought it was. Because I'm too blessed to be stressed. And see, it's already being worked out. I already been shown what the situation, what's gonna happen. That's why I just sit here and do my part, do the work that I'm supposed to do, which is working on me and helping the collective. See, and by helping y'all, I'm helping myself. Because we healing together. Don't worry, he gonna be moved, and I ain't gonna have to do a damn thing to do for it to happen. Because he's bringing that shit on his damn self.
Accepted as being possible. This is just human nature. We reject the things which don't fit our map of how things work. The initial response is a knee-jerk one, which says, no, that's impossible. So airline pilots were actually afraid to report them for fear that it would impact on their employment. These discharges above thunderstorms, which are very fast and hard to see
he won't even do that,
film
see.
until high-speed cameras in recent years, have been shown to be a series of filaments that extend upwards to the ionosphere. And at the
God gave you a
ionosphere,
head, for, God gave you a brain for more than
further
just
phenomena
gave you
elves,
a brain,
which
a
are
mind more than
huge
just for thinking
circles
about
of light,
bullshit. See,
which exist briefly, and they can be up
I'm
to
about getting
80
knowledge.
kilometers
I ain't
across.
about that foolishness.
They're very big.
If you ain't got no,
All of this
you know what turned
is
me
part
on?
of the circuit
A
which connects
motherfucker with
the
wisdom.
Earth
That's
to
what's
the
sexy to
solar
me.
circuit. So at the
A
very outer
motherfucker that
edges
got
of
some
the Earth,
knowledge
we have the
in their head. That's what turned me on.
and that connects at the poles through along the magnetic field lines where the current comes in to form the aurora. The aurorae feed electrical current into the ionosphere, and the ionosphere has
you're right. In the lines, then you're right.
Magnetic field,
Sleeping with the enemy.
Currents in the Earth itself.
That's that movie.
So you can see that the circuitry of planets is quite complex.
The electric universe theory suggests that stars are formed on a circulatory system that creates a series of stars in the sky, like streetlights or beads. Where do we see this in our terrestrial world?
It has been observed in powerful lightning bolts that sometimes the current pinches off and forms a string of beads, and it's known as bead lightning. That is one of the indications that perhaps this is how stars are formed. Then we have St. Elmo's fire. That is a glow discharge. It's not a lightning discharge. That is St. Elmo's fire is a slow discharge from a pointed object or a high point on a building, a sharp edge. All of these things combined are our present experience of lightning and electrical activity in the Earth's atmosphere. Part of the difficulty in having people understand the electric universe is that the word plasma is very rarely used. We live in one of those rare environments in the universe where, for most of our experience, everything is electrically neutral. It's only when we develop static electricity and touch a doorknob and get a shock from the electric charge passing between us and the doorknob that we experience an electrical environment. So it requires education into the behavior of plasma before the electric universe can be fully understood. The electric universe model suggests that particles are themselves made up of smaller particles. It's a repeated pattern at different scales. And all particles...
Just like right now, I know I got at least 3 people that watch me every day, all day, and don't say nothing. They admire me from afar and won't say shit. I know this. I mean, they ain't got to say nothing. I already know because I feel it. That's just how strong my intuition is. They in here now. At one of them anyway. And 2 chickens to even open their mouth and say how they feel. A closed mouth don't get fed. That's what I was always told. You know you like somebody, right? You watch me all day, every day. It's too scared to open your mouth, but see that's what get me. See, y'all so macho men, right? Are you too scared to open up your mouth and tell somebody that you like them? You know what I'm saying? Let's take a chance. You know. Let's see what's up. You too scared to do that? That's what you call insecurity. You fuck around, you be on lost out.
Because they're composed of both positive and negative charge.
See, look,
can be distorted.
See how the number count went. See how the number count went down when I said what I said. Cause I already know they ain't got to say nothing. They tell on their damn self, really. But I already can feel them in here. They already know it's about energy. If you really woke, you know how energy. You should know how energy works. Like I mean, I could pick up on your energy because I'm an empath. You ain't got to say nothing. Anytime somebody come, you could be a 300 miles away. And if you come on here in this on this chat, I still don't know you in here and you ain't saying shit. And I know who, and I know who, I know for definitely who one of them is. I put it like that. And I have an idea of who another one is. And I'm still trying to figure out who the third one is. And then I'm tell you another way they give, another way they tell them they sell profit. Riddle me this, profit. Okay. Now, I might go to this person, and these people got platforms now. Several, I mean, two of them anyway. I put it like that. All right. Now, you don't say nothing, right? Like I say, I know you've been here because I can feel you. But you gonna say something on your platform, right? That lets me know that you watch me without even saying that you watch me. You know what I'm saying? You feel me, Prophet? Saying, saying, codes, throwing out codes and hints that they know only I will pick up on. You feel me? Instead of just saying, and just instead of being a man about it. Right or wrong, Prophet? I mean, come on, man. I would put somebody on blast right now, but I ain't gonna do it. Because that same person that I'm talking about told me that they watch me and don't say nothing. See what I'm saying? Every now and then they drop in the chat and say something. But they watch me all day, every day. How else would you know that I'm working hard on building my platform all day and all night? Unless you watching me all day and all night, right? Yeah, I put it out there.
To form little dipoles. Electric dipole is where positive and negative charge is separated by a small distance. And the electric field that comes from that is more like that of a magnet than it is of a point charged object. So it was obvious to suggest that magnetism, which is a dipole force, has an electrical origin. It was a little more outrageous to suggest that gravity also is a dipole force, because it's almost a belief firmly entrenched that gravity is only attractive. But saying that creates a puzzle, because nobody understands a force which is only attractive. It means there is no possibility of balance in such a system. So the gravitational model of the universe is unbalanced, and as a result you need explosions and collisions and coalescence of objects. Otherwise there's no means of separating objects and holding them in position steadily. The electric universe therefore said, okay, well, if
that's one of the main reasons I really don't show my face like I used to. You know what I'm saying? Because people be sitting back just watching you, pulling on your energy and shit. See? That's why I quit even really showing. I might pop in every now and then and show my face, but that's why I really don't do that. Because I notice when I do, it's like my head will start hurting. See what I'm saying? People don't see. You got to realize. You got to learn how to. People got to learn how to understand that. And see me, I transmute that shit. Anytime somebody anytime somebody try to throw negative energy at me, I transmute that shit and I make it something positive. See, because every time they do it, I get a blessing.
this is the case, then the simplest answer to all of these problems is to suggest that it's the response of all matter, regardless of the scale,
exactly,
to an external electric force to distort into a little dipole.
I'll keep trying to see there, like you see, there are those that Like I said, I got several that watch me because they like me. I know they like me, but they not saying it, but they throw hints. Well, one person did come right out and tell me, and he called me and shit, gave me his phone number. Yeah, one guy really came right out and told me he liked me, and he calls me and stuff. But they ain't the one that They ain't the one that I'm looking for. See, the one that I really had that connection with. See, let me tell you something, Prophet. There is such a thing as love at first sight. That's what what love at first sight is. Soul recognition. When you see somebody for the first time that you ain't never seen before in your life, right? And for some reason you just pull toward a person, and you can't figure out why you pull toward that person. That's because that's your soulmate. That's the other half of your soul. That's what they call love at first sight. And this particular person that I'm talking about that watches me, that I'm not gonna call the name, that I told you that it was like that with him, and he felt it too, because he told me, But I think it scared him. See, I think he just can't understand it. See, but he trying to. Like I'm talking now because, like I said, I know he in here listening. I know he trying to. He trying to reverse up. He trying to get up on his spirituality. Trying to understand what's really going on. He's seeing the signs and the synchronicities, the spiritual numbers. He's seeing it, but he just scared. I'm trying to let him know ain't nothing to be scared about. I'm not, because I already know what it is. I mean, I try to get my mind off of him, but every time I do, I start back thinking about him. You know why? Because he's thinking about me. Anytime you think about somebody so intensely, it's because that person thinking about you just as much as you thinking about them. And when you dream about a person like that, it's because they astral traveling to you in your sleep. That's why they always say, remember your dreams. He has to travel. He be in my dreams all the time. Then, like I say, you say things, to give yourself away. Like I say, the only I would pick up on. Other people be in the chat talking about, well, what's up with this and that. But I understand, because we communicate telepathically. My ear ringing like a motherfucker now. Yep. I know you listening, love. I sure do.
Develop static electricity and touch a doorknob and get a shock from the electric charge passing between
Yeah,
us and
it
the
is.
doorknob.
Really,
We
it
experience
is.
an electrical environment. So it requires education into the behavior of plasma before the electric universe can be fully understood. The electric universe model suggests that
ran
particles
across it
are
yet.
themselves made up of smaller particles.
And it
It's a
happened when you ain't
repeated
looking for
pattern
it to happen.
at different scales. And all
Let me tell you how. And let me tell you how it
because
happened.
they're
And it just happened. Really, it just really happened. Like, let me tell you like this here. Like we always say, people come into your path on your path for a reason. It's not coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. Everything happened for a reason. Let me tell you this story. I'm gonna tell you something right here that you ain't gonna believe. You might not even because you don't believe you are a skeptic. So, but I'm gonna tell you something. It no matter how much tarot I listen to, it still amazes me sometimes when shit happens. That be already predicted. All right, night before last. Bubba Jolie. I was sharing this Capricorn reading Bubba Jolie did, right? And I know you probably don't heard when a couple of these streams when they was talking about the peacocks and all that, the color of the peacock. She mentioned something about peacocks, right? She said you gonna be seeing. I mean, Jay Phillips. No, Taz was in here. The Taz show was in here, and then, but that didn't know that really didn't, because I was like, okay, that's that's a sign, something I've been seeing, a synchronicity. But what really got me, what really floored me, was right. It might have been maybe 5 minutes. It might have been about 5 minutes left before the reading ended. And how she reads, it's like she feel the card, and it's like she pick up the energy off the card and intuitively read, right? She said, just a side note, 007. Now, isn't that James Bond? That's what she said, right? I didn't pay that no attention, so okay, 007, Then she said something about Mariah Carey, Christmas, talking about Christmas and everything. And Mariah Carey is one of my favorite, one of my favorite singers. And the stream ended. I went over to Red Squid was on live. I'll tell you how this shit gonna knock your socks off. He was he was showing the pictures of these I guess it was a Tibetan priest or something over there, and he had 2 little boys, He was like, well, what's wrong? He how he be talking and everything. And then all of a sudden, he started cleaning. He said, let me get rid of these damn files off my computer. He said, I thought I had got rid of them, but he said, I'm gonna clean these files. So he shouted me out, what's up? And he said, Empress Goddess in the house, peace and salutes, Queen. And I think Brown's Flat Power God was in there. Was, a couple other people. Big Dog Philly, I believe. You know how he always come through. So he's, he cleaning his computer, getting those files out of his computer. Then out of the blue, 007, James Bond in this bitch. I like to fell out the goddamn bed when he said that shit. Now you can't tell me that shit. Come on now. I can't make that shit up. Ain't no such thing as coincidence. And I just not even 5 minutes ago, the woman said that shit. Wait, pay attention to when you hear that. Something about 007, James Bond. Come on, I can't make. And then he started singing motherfucking Christmas carols after that. Come on with that bullshit.
Both positive and negative charge
Yeah, she was talking
can
about
be
Christmas.
distorted electrically to form little dipoles. Electric dipole is where positive and negative charge is separated by a small distance.
That's how you gonna know that your intuition is on point. That's just what she told me.
A point charge.
Everything that you're thinking, that's
so
when you see these synchronicities, it's gonna be a sign to let you know that you're on the right path.
Is a dipole force.
And it wasn't even 5 minutes later. Come on, I can't make it up.
A little more outrageous.
Go back and watch Red Squid live from the night.
It's almost a belief firmly entrenched that gravity is only attractive. But just saying that creates a puzzle because nobody understands a force which is only attractive. It means there is no possibility of balance in such a system. So the gravitational model of the universe is unbalanced, and as a result, you need
I even typed in his in the live. I said, God damn, synchronicity like a motherfucker. I was like, amazing. I said to myself, okay, Lord, I got it. I got the message. No matter how, people are skeptics. But I'm going to tell you, it's been several things that have been said, because I don't have several personal readings, and I don't collect the readings, and the shit that they said, that they predicted, have always happened.
Charge is separated by a small distance. And the electric field that comes from that is more like that of a magnet than it is of a point charged object. So it was obvious to suggest that magnetism, which is a dipole force, has an electrical origin, it was a little more outrageous to suggest that gravity also is a dipole force, because it's almost a belief firmly entrenched that gravity is only attractive. But saying that creates a puzzle, because nobody understands a force which is only attractive. It means there is no possibility of balance in such a system. So the gravitational model of the universe is unbalanced, and as a result you need explosions and collisions and coalescence of objects. Otherwise, there's no means of separating objects and holding them in position steadily. The electric universe therefore said, okay, well, if this is the case, then the simplest answer to all of these problems is to suggest that it's the response of all matter, regardless of the scale, to an external electric force to distort into a little dipole. And in the case of electric current, where you've got free electrons and that moving either along a wire or through space in a Bergland current, the result of putting a force in one direction on an object, which is an orbiting system, is to speed up the orbiting object in one half of the orbit and slow it down on the other. The result of that is a transverse, that is an ellipse at right angles to the electric force. That's the simple explanation of the magnetic force. It's the result of the dipole distortion of electrons subject to an electric force in a current. Magnetism is not a separate force, it is an electric force. We apply the same principle to the particles within the nucleus of an atom, that is the particles within the proton and the neutron, and say they are
Oh, you ain't saying nothing, huh,
on a
Prophet?
small scale.
If we look at this understanding of the planetary system on a smaller scale, how does this theory relate to our biological systems?
If you've got a magnet with one pole on the outside and another one on the inside, the two opposite poles are separated, and inside that body is the same force which is repelling everything. This raises the issue about what is the center of a star or a planet actually like. And the electric universe raises the possibility that there may be nothing inside. We are a shell of material.